6:04, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing, broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio in downtown Baton Rouge. And we're starting off your Friday morning at 71 degrees. You heard that forecast from Balin Rogers. It's going to kind of lead the show throughout at least the first hour. Today's weather, going to be touchy. Could be a lot going on depending on what time of day you might be out and about and moving. We had a lot of ground to cover this morning, so I can tell you we'll be talking roads. Not just roads, but overall transportation in Baton Rouge later on this hour. We'll be talking blight next hour. And, of course, we'll have Foodie Friday before we're all said and done. And, yes, every Friday from now until Mardi Gras Day, with the exception of the Friday where I'm at Washington Mardi Gras, every Friday we're going to be breaking down a different king cake or a different king cake locale. Let's get you started. Top stories in trending.
Number 5.
The Livingston Parish Council voted unanimously to replace 2 bridges Thursday night. Resolution replaces Milton Road Bridge over Beaver Branch and the John L. Lane Road Bridge, which it just says goes over a creek.
Number 4.
One person was taken to the hospital after a shooting on Columbus Dunn Drive and Gus Young Avenue, according to BRPD. Shooting happened around 2:10 p.m. Officials say the victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Officials on the scene said the shooting was a result of a domestic dispute between 2 women.
Number 3.
Former Louisiana House Speaker Clay Schexnayder pleaded not guilty Thursday to felony charges connected to the disappearance of an ancient cypress board that is considered a state artifact. Schexnayder was indicted and arrested in November after the board was last seen in his Gonzales legislative office, which, according to Schexnayder, was the last place he saw it as well.
Number 2.
The Louisiana Department of Health said yesterday that a Louisiana child has died from influenza this flu season. Quote, to protect the family's privacy, additional information about the patient will not be released. That's coming from an LDH spokesperson. According to the CDC, Louisiana is among 48 states with levels of flu cases that are deemed, quote, very high.
Number 1.
Yes, we do have a cold front about to move through Baton Rouge or move into our area. But there's a battle to get there, as there will be storms throughout the day today. Looking like things are going to be their worst, probably early afternoon into mid-afternoon, hopefully not too far into the evening. But everything that's gone down up until now, and it was an absolute gully washer on the way into work this morning, but everything that's happened up until now looks like it's going to be scaling back a little bit for the remainder of the morning. Bottom line is, if you got anything to do, get it done before noon.
Those are your top stories. It's time to see what's trending.
What you got, Bree Lynn?
President Trump is scheduled to meet with oil industry executives this afternoon as he pushes U.S. oil companies to invest in Venezuela.
As I understand that there was already one meeting. This is round 2.
That's what I'm confused about. I guess so.
Well, he's got a sales job to do here when it comes to stability.
Right. Because
oil companies aren't going to send people in to a place that, like, they can't, I don't want to say guarantee their safety, but guarantee their safety.
So I'm sure there's a lot of meetings going to be taking place about this until, yeah.
Yep.
Hundreds of people marched in freezing rain Thursday night down one of Minneapolis's major thoroughfares, making their feelings about ICE abundantly clear, chanting ICE out now.
Okay, so here we go. Good for them. Because going out and protesting, speaking your mind, sharing your voice is 100% what you're supposed to do. Tracking down ICE agents to, like, yell at them, heckle them, threaten them, and try to drive over them is not 100% what you're supposed to do. Making your voice heard, yes. Crossing over to a level of action that will have, I know, I'm heartless, I get it. But once you cross that threshold, we learned in physics class in high school, every action has an opposite and equal reaction. I know it sounds heartless, but I can't be worried about feelings. You go out and protest, that is your right. You take it to another level, start confronting people, now you got problems.
Are throwing flame bombs and windows. Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
A peaceful protest is one thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Elon Musk is his artificial intelligence company XAI is set to spend $20 billion to build a data center in South Haven, Mississippi. Governor Tate Reeves announced Thursday, calling it the largest private investment in the state's history.
Okay, so we're not the only ones on board here, y'all. Looks like if you want to, share with your Mississippi friends to complain about data centers coming to town. I mean, if we're so stupid for signing up for data centers, why are they doing it too?
Right.
Okay. All right, let's go. By the way, good on you for actually recognizing it was XAI. I spent maybe 15 minutes trying to pronounce that.
Really?
Zai.
Stop. So I said it right. I was waiting for you to correct me.
No. You totally said it right. I was trying to make it a word and then not thinking everything with Elon starts with an X.
Or Grok.
Yeah.
Like all his names. Just, yeah.
So stupid. We are at 610 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We got a lot of sports to cover coming up in just a little bit. We'll talk college football playoff. We'll talk LSU women's basketball. All that's just around the corner. Before we take our first break, I do need to remind you about the folks from 180 Pros. 180pros.com is their website. 330-2200 is their phone number. Yes, that is a local phone number. So one of the things that sets 180 Pros apart when it comes to building on a partnership and a relationship and everything, one of the things that they had heard along the way, complaints that they've seen from other companies and whatnot, is simplified billing. You have a deal with 180 Pros, you have a deal with 180 Pros. You're not going to get nickel and dimed up and down your invoice. You're not going to find hidden charges. You're going to have a one-page invoice. It's simplified billing. When you hire 180 Pros, that's it. You've hired 180 Pros. When you're building that relationship, you don't have to worry about charges for this, charges for that. It's simplified billing, just one of the many great things they offer, as they don't want to be your IT provider, your IT partner instead. 180pros.com. Are you on my email list for basketball highlights or LSU highlights? Shit.
If I can, where you don't always have to forward it to me.
I have a whole list.
Okay.
So let me forward you this. Yeah, it's a whole media list. So all I have to do is add your name and you'll get them when I work. Okay, I just sent it to you. And I'm going to want 4.5.
Are we doing 4.5 first before we get into CFP?
Wait, nope, hang on. I just sent you the wrong one.
Okay, so don't open that one.
Where's... Okay. Now we got it. I don't know how it ended up back on the damn Vanderbilt game. All right, there we go. And it's 4 point. Well, I'm glad I saw that. 4.2. 4 point. No.
4.2. Oh, wait. Hang on. Full Wiley to call.
No. What is that? What is the title of that? What does the subject line of that email say? Delete that. I just sent you another one. LSU WBB highlights versus UGA. You got it? Just give me a thumbs up when you have 4.2. It should be Johnson hitting a three-pointer. Yep. You have the CFP highlights? I did send you those. Six 614 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. It is sports time. I'll start off obviously with the college football playoff. Unbelievably exciting game last night with an unbelievable finish. Cut one, please.
Opportunity. Three receivers, bunch to the left. Becca's looking that way. And still looking. Takes off running. Carson Beck with his legs. Puts Miami on top. What a drive.
Back and forth all night was the Miami versus Ole Miss game. 31-27 your final score. So Ole Miss is done for the season, which means that whole crew that was still coaching over there in Oxford can now come to Baton Rouge and get the next chapter of their lives started with the LSU Tigers. Miami does move on to the next round. Miami will take on the winner of tonight's contest. That would be between Indiana and Oregon. Of course, both coaches heading into tonight's game know better than to lay out any bulletin board material for the other guy. Showing nothing but respect, here is Curt Cignetti, cut two.
Obviously, it's an honor. It's great to be here. I can't say enough great things about Oregon. Really have a lot of respect for Coach Lanning, their team, what they've put on tape, what they've gotten done in their recent history. They're good in all three phases, and they're a great football team. And people, I know I said it's hard to beat a great team twice. Well, it's hard to beat a great team, period.
And he's talking about beating them twice. They've played earlier in the season. And from the Mutual Admiration Society, here is Dan Lanning, cut three.
Honored to play a team like Indiana. They've obviously done an incredible job. You look at the body of work of Coach Cignetti and his crew and the way his team plays. They're playing it as good as anybody else in the nation. I can speak to it already. We already started off this morning to compete, and he beat me here a little bit. And I walked back there, and they're having us sign balls, and he got a jump start. So I quickly went into 2-minute mode and was trying to catch up. His signatures looked a lot better than mine, but I put some pressure on him at the end. But he still finished signing off. I don't know how many balls there were, Coach. There were a bunch of them, but it was a fun challenge. This
should be a fun night. Should be a good game. Indiana is a 3.5-point favorite, coming in at 14-0 on the season. Oregon at 13-1, and of course that one blemish we've already talked about. 3.5-point favorite, a 70% favorite to win. So looking forward to this contest. 6:30 is your start time. 6:30 is your kickoff. Of course, it's on ESPN on TV. If you're still bumping around out and about, our sister station, 104.5 ESPN Radio, will have the radio broadcast of this game. Meanwhile, last night right here on Talk 107.3 FM, Kim Mulkey and her LSU women's basketball Tigers got the act together, finally put together the last pieces of the puzzle to get over the hump on getting a win in Southeastern Conference play. Now, they did so on the road against a team that was 15-1 going into the game. Now, Georgia Bulldogs, the Georgia Lady Bulldogs, 15-1 overall. They were 1-1 in conference play. They followed 1-2 in conference play. But it's not just that LSU won, it's how LSU won that made all the difference here. First of all, Flau'jae Johnson, playing in basically her own backyard, that's where she came up, was Georgia, was the star of the show last night. Flau'jae had 25 points, which not her last basket of the night, but her second to last basket of the night was just as beautiful as could be, 4.2.
Now Carnegie with 24, which is her SEC average. Flau'jae right wing, she wants three, and give it to her. 76-57.
Okay, final score will be 80-59, by the way. You hear Patrick Wright and Shaida Williams on the call right there from the LSU Sports Radio Network. Hear them laughing at the very end. This didn't come across the radio, but Patrick did a good job of explaining it just a minute later. They're laughing because with the lead that LSU had, Kim Mulkey obviously wants to drain the rest of the clock, right? You run out the clock. We're fine. We've already won the ball game. And Flau'jae, as soon as she gets the ball and takes the three, Coach Mulkey's like, no. And the three goes through, and Flau'jae looks over to Coach, and she's like, I got you, Coach. It was a really cool little moment. And then Of course, Johnson comes down the very next trip, puts another basket in, this time just a step away from the three-point line for another 2 to make it in a final score of 82-59. Flaugier would have 25 on the night, also in double figures for the Tigers. Malaysia Fulwiley had 18. Amaya Joyner had 12. Zakiya Johnson had 12. LSU will take on number 2 Texas this Sunday. Here's the Fox Business Report. If y'all want, I can do a whole nother segment on last night's game. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I like the chemistry she has with the girls. Same.
And they respect her. The girls respect her. That's the big. You can't buy that, you know.
Mm-mm. How long do I have?
You still have like 4 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, because we got to do. Wait, you got to do traffic, huh? Wait, you got to do traffic. Brian, you got to do traffic. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just ran up and down the stairs. Just hit the bed. Hit the bed. The traffic bed. All right, here we go with traffic. Sorry about that, y'all. That was totally on me. We are looking at, normally I start off on I-12, but we're looking at problems on I-10 to start off your morning, this particular morning. Weather, obviously, a major factor in that, as we have had a ton of rain over the last couple of hours. So let's go ahead and start you off on I-10 westbound, approaching the 10-12 merge. It is stop and go right there. I'm showing a hazard on the map, not showing what said hazard is. I would assume it has to do with the rain. Now, that's approaching the merge. Once you get past that, you're going to find another problem on I-10, but flip around I-10 eastbound You're looking at slow and go traffic 10 eastbound all the way through the city due to an accident 10 east near College, or you're just past College, as that's slowing things down coming this way. So all the way from the bridge, you're going to be tapping your brakes up until you get past College Drive. It'll pick back up again on the 10 east side. Like I said, flipping it around back to 10 westbound, we are looking at delays right there by the 10-12 merge. Moving over to I-12 westbound coming in from Denham Springs, you got your normal delays out there. 10 eastbound coming in from once you get past back to the other side of the bridge. We're not too bad. You're not bad until you get to the bridge itself. Also, I-110 looks like in both directions around the Governor's Mansion curve, you're going to find some heavier than normal volume. I'm guessing that has to do with the weather as well. Surface streets, be on the lookout for an accident. It's been moved off the roadway. Greenwell Springs at Patterson. Got another crash. Greenwell Springs and Magnolia Bend. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Do what? Trying to direct my next guest to get in the building too. So, oh my goodness gracious! All right, it's 6:26 to Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Hey, before we move on, do want to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust. Neurojust.com is their website. 225-330-7382 is their phone number. The folks at Neurojust, they're here if you have been battling anxiety and depression and have thus far been treatment resistant. What does that mean? Well, it means either the antidepressants, the prescription drugs, either they don't work, you don't like the way you feel on them, or you're showing diminishing returns. You're tired of treating the symptom and want to treat the actual problem. This is what TMS therapy is all about, okay? If you've been treatment resistant, it's called transcranial magnetic stimulation. And basically, they send magnetic pulses into your brain to the areas that affect mood. It is FDA approved. It is non-invasive. There are 0 side effects. And here's the clincher, y'all. Your insurance is going to pick up the tab on it. The folks over at Neurojust, they've gone to great lengths to make sure that your TMS therapy is insurance approved as well. So if getting your mental health right is part of your New Year's resolution and your previous attempts have come up short, give them a call. Neurojust.com. I want to take a quick look at what we're expecting on the weather front today before we move on. And this is going to be kind of an ongoing thing because we do want to be out in front when it comes to it. We are looking at some light rain right now. We're getting a full forecast from Balin Rogers coming up in a little bit. Light rain right now, but it's later on today that we're really keeping an eye on. Your afternoon commute, your afternoon carpool after school, that's where it's looking like it's going to be a little bit rough today. We have got thunderstorms projected, and we got a 95% chance of rain today. Thunderstorms are projected to start somewhere around between noon and 1 and continue up until about 5 o'clock. And then it's going to scale back to some lighter rain. Like once we get past that initial like 3 hours worth, it should scale back a good bit, which is great. But man, those 3 hours are going to be a rough 3 hours. So as you're mapping out your day today, anything between like, let's say 1 and 4, I would just, pardon the pun, but I would call that a wash. Now, that being said, once we get into the night and in the early tomorrow morning, the rain's going to stick around all the way through tomorrow morning, or at least right now it's projected to at like a 50-50 clip, stick around through tomorrow morning as well. And then if you have not scrolled in your weather app to Sunday or Monday, we're looking like it's going to be winter again a little bit. You're high on Sunday, 62. You're high on Mondays, 56. And we're going to be highs in the 60s and 50s throughout the week next week. And in fact, we might even see a touch below freezing overnight Wednesday and a Thursday morning. So, going to be a busy, busy day today on the weather front. Speaking of busy days, I couldn't help but notice, and don't want to dive too far down this rabbit hole, but we get prep emails from everywhere, like ABC, CBS. I mean, we get prep emails from, just talk about what's in the news, what topics are out there. The what's happening email from ABC. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I don't want to get, like I said, too inside baseball, but normally it's a 4-page email setting the table for like what reporters are going to be where, covering what story. This morning's is 9 pages long. I know. If I could, I don't, like I said, I don't want to get too inside baseball, but if I could pull back the curtain just a little bit, you've got, of course, the protesting going on in Minnesota following a woman getting shot by ICE agents. And then the lead story, 2 people shot and wounded by Border Patrol agents in Portland, Oregon. It goes back to Minnesota from there. By the way, over $1 million on a GoFundMe has been raised for Renee Good's family. $1.2 million in one day. It set up a goal of $50,000, I guess, to cover funeral expenses. Well, they far eclipsed that. But outside of the ICE stories and the protests, you got protests in Iran. You got Donald Trump calling off a second wave of attacks in Venezuela. You got Democrats in Congress calling on public hearings for Venezuela. You got the Coast Guard seizing a ghost fleet. You've got, is that a 1 minute or we're out? Oh, here's news. I'm sorry, I must have missed your 1 minute. Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't see any of those. Come on in, man. You're right here. What is your title, sir?
The Executive Director of the Capital Region Planning Commission.
Okay. And the long and the short of it is there's a survey out there.
There's a survey. We're starting our long-range plan update. And we'll be gathering input, collecting data, coming up with a new plan with new cost estimates. That's the big change from the last one. Big change. But I'll talk whatever you like about when it comes to traffic.
Okay.
Do you prefer Brian or Mr. Haldane?
Brian. So yeah, I was reading what Rana had sent over, which I need to thank her again for reaching out because this is gonna be good stuff, and we're gonna talk about this regularly once the survey's in and all that other good stuff. Yeah.
Well, like I said, we're just starting the process.
Yeah.
Reviewing the whole plan, looking at numbers, looking at census data. Where are we compared to the rest of the state?
The Metropolitan Transportation Plan is a multimodal strategy and capital improvement program developed to guide the effective investment of public funds on transportation facilities. I think more. I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot of words to say we need more.
Yes, we have said that for a long time.
Yeah.
That's been a statewide issue. It's a state issue.
Yes.
It's not a local issue. You look at Baton Rouge, we put $2 billion in.
Oh, by the way, hang on. We're always on Facebook Live and YouTube. You see the little green light up there? Yeah. Okay. So I don't like to hot mic anybody, and sometimes I forget.
Well, hey, that's just facts.
Yeah.
We did the green light program 20 years ago, and
That's how I was going to lead in. First there was green light, then there's Move VBR.
Yep.
What's the next 25 years looking like? But this is bigger picture than that. This isn't just like Choctaw needs another lane. This is overall, like, where are trends headed to need physically more roads, not just improvements.
Right. So. Exactly. And where have those long-term improvements not been built? We've been talking about Hooper Road widening for 40 years.
Yeah. Right.
It's not
thank God Central hasn't grown. Oh, wait, no.
Exactly. Or had impacts from floods, things like that.
Yeah.
So.
How long do you have? Do you have to be somewhere? Like,
No, not at all. Not
If
at
this spills over, can I keep you for a second
Sure.
segment? We
Yeah,
might do
sure.
that.
Yeah. Show me where the bathroom is after this.
That's it's right around the. You need to go now, or
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll wait.
Julie Buffon, weekdays from 9 to 11 a.m. on Talk 107.3 FM.
Turn up the volume and make a $500 frenzy from the lottery. Win up to 15 times, loaded with $500 prizes. Stop at your favorite lottery retailer and ask for $500 frenzy today for your chance to win. Big scratch, big cash. Get into extreme mode and play $500,000 extreme cash from the lottery. Win up to 20 times. Top prize is a whopping $500,000. Louisiana Lottery, celebrating 35 years of reasons to celebrate. Must be the total purchase.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI.
Good morning, Christy. Welcome in, boo. Let's see.
Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Talk 107.3 weather.
Expect a active morning and an active day of weather throughout the course of the day. Watching everyone getting in on some showers and thunderstorms. Some of these could even be strong to severe. Level 2 out of 5 or slight risk has been posted for the entire area. Tornadoes, gusty winds, and isolated flooding is going to be the main concerns. We see one more round early on Saturday morning.
I don't like him saying possible tornadoes.
What happened?
I don't like him saying possible tornadoes.
I know. I don't think we're going to
That's
have
what. No, that's not coming from the National Weather Service. Like the National Weather Service has to put us under a watch.
I love how he's
We're going to get some there's a lot of $6:37. Talk 103 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Let's talk about our roads and let's look forward to the next 25 years. That's not hyperbole, y'all. In studio with me right now, the executive director of the Capital Region Planning Commission, Jamie Setze, is with us. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on.
No, glad to have you on here. It's first conversation of many because what y'all are setting out to do, I mean, it could be a game changer. Could be very a setup for a major disappointment, a setup for accomplishing a lot of goals. Either way, this is the building blocks phases. So I appreciate you getting the ball rolling here. Y'all have a survey out there. Tell me all about it.
Okay. Well, federal government says we have to do a long range plan for our region, especially because we're non-attainment for the Clean Air Act. And so we have sent out a survey to ask people where the issues and problems they have in the transportation network and suggestions for improvement over the next few months.
All right, so the survey's out there, but
Yes,
you say over the next few months, but I mean, we're really talking about like we're setting the table for a really long time.
Yes, we are looking at a 25-year horizon,
Mhm.
and we are looking at the 5-parish area, not just East Baton Rouge, and we are looking at what can we build and what do we need to build, and then what are the funds available to do that.
Yeah, the third part's kind of the killer, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Or at least it has been in the past. So let's break. Well, actually, before we start to get into some details here, who is open to take the survey and where can they find it?
Anybody in the public can take it. It's at crpcla.org. You click on that website and you'll get a big old banner that says, please take our survey. And we've been sending that out to elected officials across the 5 parish area to get their early input. Things like where do we need traffic counts so that we know where the traffic actually is.
Yeah. Well, and that varies. I mean, that does move around a good bit. So it's not the same Baton Rouge that we were in 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
Oh, certainly not. Certainly not. And I think one of the things we have to recognize in Baton Rouge is schools make a big difference. I went to school by bus in East Baton Rouge. Now I live in West Baton Rouge. A lot of my neighbors send their kids to school in East Baton Rouge. That's a lot of traffic.
Wait, I didn't realize that many people just for school come across the river.
Oh, yeah, sure. You have a lot of LSU students. LSU's the largest commuter population in the SEC.
Yeah.
So that's a certain amount. Then also, if you're in a parochial school, normally those only go through K through 8th grade. So where do all those Catholic students go?
Also true. I didn't even think about the Catholic end over there. I mean, I know they got a Holy Family.
Right, but that ends at the 8th grade.
Absolutely. We're talking with Jamie Setze, the executive director of the Capital Region Planning Commission. Can we walk through? I mean, I'm not going to ask you word for word to recite what's in the survey, but can we walk through a few of like the general topics?
Sure. It's where do you see traffic problems? Where is your commute, and where do you see issues? It also asks you where you live and where you work. That's to get those main journey to work trips. One of the things we did at CRPC a few years ago is we actually did a very long survey for a week long where we polled people. We put apps on people's phones to get those journeys between work and home, because that's something that's changed a lot over the last 20 to 30 years is the worker who goes to work doesn't just drive home in the afternoon. He trip chains. She goes to the laundromat. She goes to the grocery store.
Right.
All these trips are not normally counted unless you take a survey and find out where they're at.
You know what? It's absolutely true. I don't think anybody leaves the house with one destination in mind.
Right. Exactly.
It is. We can multitask, to be sure. So how open-ended is it? I mean, this isn't like a multiple choice survey. It's a lot of Q and short answer.
Yes, exactly. A lot of short answers. Tell us what your pain points are so that we can write a plan that reflects the reality out there.
What are our starting points? Like, has there been previous data that's still applicable?
Oh, yes. Well, if you look at, from the statewide perspective, the state's going up doing their own long range plan update right now, and they're looking at corridors across the state. Your I-49, your 190. 190 crosses the entire state. It has a lot of issues in a lot of places. 1012 is its own special issues, especially, trying to cross the river. But we also have problems just within the Baton Rouge area. And then we haven't built a new bridge across the Amite River in 30 years?
No, we have. I don't think we have. But
yeah,
I mean,
I guess we rebuilt the Magnolia Bridge and the Florida Bridge, but they have not been a new crossing in my lifetime.
No, they're newer bridges, but they're the same number of lanes and take the same number of cars, to be absolutely sure. Talking with Jamie Setze, the executive director of the Capital Region Planning Commission. Are we just talking about like the ways to get from the roads to get from point A to point B? Or are we diving in any trends as far as like different, carpool habits, public transportation, these sorts of things?
Yes, public transit and carpool vanpool is things that we look at and we identify. One of the issues is it's so difficult to get good data on that. One, because we run commuter crew through our office, through CRPC, and the commuter crew is the regional carpool vanpool portal that you go and book trips and record trips, and we'll actually give you gift cards. You'll get a Visa gift card if you log a certain number of trips.
So wait, just as part of your workday? I mean,
if you're commuting with somebody, like somebody's carpooling with you, you can log your trips through commuter crew, and we give out gift cards. I mean,
not to solicit on the air, but if anybody else is going to work at 4:45 in the morning, I'm more than happy to pick you up on the way.
Exactly. And so transit's also a big issue. One of the things is we don't have dedicated lanes for transit. And so it makes it very difficult to show the benefit of transit over taking your own vehicle.
Why, that's one of the areas that I wanted to get into here is when you're on the data collection end, it breaks down based off of individual opinion, not who's picking up the tab or whose responsibility it is. And this is where your job as the executive director of the Capital Region Planning Commission gets really, really hairy. Is like we have a number of roads that it comes into question very quickly. Is this local, state, or federal?
Right. Well, mainly between local and state. And the main difference is the timeline to get projects and improvements done on them.
Mhm.
The state process is very long and convoluted.
Mhm.
The state has been, with this new governor, has been going through a process to streamline that.
Yeah.
But it's not just constructing a road. It's getting the environmental clearance. Then it's buying the right of way. And the new thing we've seen, especially over the last 20 years, is how long does it take to move all those utilities that have been built into the road over the last quarter century, 30 years.
How difficult is it? And I'm sorry, I'm looking at the clock. We got 1 minute left in this segment. Can I keep you around for one more?
Sure, and that'd be no problem.
How difficult is it to get people to take this survey with a clean slate? And the background on that is I don't want to hear anything about a loop. I don't want to hear anything about how long it's taken to where we're at on the new bridge conversation or the interstate expansion conversation. It would be very, very easy for people in the capital region to walk into the survey with a certain level of cynicism.
Yes. And we don't want that cynicism. We want to see what is out there that's possible. That's one of the reasons that we've looked at improving operational signal synchronizations. That's something I would like to talk to you about in the next segment.
Okay. We will pick it up right there. He is Jamie Setze, the executive director of the Capital Region Planning Commission. We're getting traffic, appropriately enough, coming up in a little bit. We're going to have your money now on the back end of that. Before we take our break, though, do need to remind you about the folks at Matherns. Oh, my goodness gracious. I know right now, this very moment, in the Haldane house, king cake is being eaten for breakfast. I know it. I can almost guarantee it without even being there. We have a Haydell's king cake, which you can find in Matherns on Kenilworth. Actually, you can find the Matherns on campus as well. That's where I picked mine up yesterday. But the folks at Matherns, they've got you stocked up for king cakes this Mardi Gras season. They are ready to rock and roll all carnival season long. And it's not just the Haydell's, although that's the one I'm going to be pushing, but they got Nona Randazzo. They got Ubix. They got Coludas. They got Gambinos. They got Party Palace, Marguerite's, K-Woods. They've got a ton of king cakes. The Kenilworth location, Highland and Kenilworth, that's going to be your main king cake headquarters. Of course, you'll find them downtown on 3rd Street. Of course, you'll find them in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center. But it's a short carnival season, y'all. Get after it. Swing by the Matherns on Highland, just west of Kenilworth.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the bridge or what we call that. We don't call it a loop anymore. We call it the bump.
But yeah, I mean,
it's coming back around.
What was the term you used?
The bump?
No, before the operational what?
Operational improvements. Signal synchronization.
Signal synchronization.
Yes, been going on for more than 30 years, Brian. More than 30 years. That's one of those points where, when you're dealing with the state, it becomes a real issue.
When you say signal synchronization, are you talking about red light syncing?
Yeah, exactly. Or
Fred Rayford's alarm's going to go off. Chew my ass.
No, he's not. Because
he is.
Oh no! I mean, he was the guy that put that in the plan back in 1994, and we're still talking about a third of a century later.
Come on, I give him shit about this. The red lights.
It's a sad situation.
And there's nothing to do. He's doing his level best.
He has tried for 30 years.
I know. And he was all fired up. And then, like, one morning, I filmed my drive into work. And I come into work at 5 o'clock in the morning. There's nobody else on the road. So I filmed, okay, the red lights on Florida. I live in Sherwood, work downtown. So I was like, I'm going to come in on Florida Boulevard. Are the red lights synced? And started off when the light turned green, went up. I made it 2 lights, caught another one. Made it 2 lights, caught another one. Made it, and then caught the next 3 in a row. I'm like, Fred, don't tell me they're synced. I'm not speeding. I'm not jumping in front of them. So,
well, I grew up in Sherwood Forest, so that's funny. I live on the west side now, over in Addis. But
whereabouts in Sherwood?
Lock Haven, right where Woodcliff and Archery come together. Yeah. So it's funny you say that, because when I was growing up, my older brother taught me how to drive. He said, "Look, you can get anywhere in Baton Rouge without hitting a red light. Just go 15 miles faster than the posted speed limit."
Okay.
I don't know if that's the same now, but back then it worked very well.
No, it's not. But let's see, locking. So the best kept secret in Baton Rouge, and microwave. I don't even want the Facebook audience to know about it. It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
If you're on Florida Boulevard heading out towards 10 in the afternoon, and you see that 4 o'clock jam up, hop off at Cora. That's
Mhm.
the first exit,
Yep.
first street in Broadmoor you get off on.
Mm-hmm.
Take Molly Lee, and you're going a steady 30 all the way till you get to the other side of Sherwood.
Yep.
And you've got a red light at Sharp, and there's nobody new. There's never anybody there. And once you get to how far does Molly Lee go? You got to be careful because you'll end up turning.
Yeah,
right
you'll go all the way to Woodcliff on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Molly Lee, if you go the whole way, will turn right and it'll take you back to Goodwood.
Yep.
But if you make the left-hand turn before it's too late, you hop right back on. It's like I'm past all like the only other
Yeah, like Maryland has a light.
Yeah.
Maryland and Florida.
No. Oh yeah, Maryland and Florida have one, but
Yeah.
Florida will have 5 lights along that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Molly will just have the one at Sharp. So yeah.
Yeah, well, after the Katrina, when traffic just went crazy, you started learning about all those old streets you used to take. Convention, Choctaw, all of them became very important for the locals because the other people didn't know.
Yeah. And so my family makes fun of me because I often say I don't participate in traffic. There's always another way to get there.
Yes.
If you're we cut through subdivisions or whatever, but there are lesser known, lesser utilized streets. It's like, how long ago did we build the North Boulevard overpass?
That was 2006, 2007.
Okay. So we're good 20 years in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's still like you have elbow room. There's a few more people take it now than have in the past, but when I'm leaving here, I will scooch over to North instead of taking government for sure.
Oh yes.
Somebody giving me shit about I never participate in traffic. The second I say it,
Well, it's best to avoid it.
Yeah. Well, and it's possible to avoid it. I think you go north of Florida Boulevard at all, you'll move quickly.
Yes.
That's another part. Like we'll reset with where people can find it on the way back in, and then do it one more time on the way out, just so you know.
Excellent. We appreciate you. So where do you live?
I live 652 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We got 6.5 minutes left with the executive director of the Capital Region Planning Commission. He is Mr. Jamie Setze, talking about where we're heading for the next 25 years. Move 2050, I think is what the overall thing is called. It's a survey that's open right now. Jamie, reset for me. Where is it open? Where can people find it?
If you go to the website, crpcla.org, you will find a big banner as you come on, and it'll say, please take our survey. Tell us what's going on.
Hardest part of the next 2 hours is me not going on that survey while the show's going on. And wait till the end of the show, and then I'll be on it for sure. Is the first question of the survey, the first question of the survey, is it, can you name 3 streets that aren't the interstate?
That would be interesting. Can you name 3 streets that are the same street? They're just named differently.
That's true. Why do we have that so much?
That was a relic from the 1948 master plan that delineated streets change, either a government street or Florida. So the government street changes the street name up until I think Foster, and then once you go to Foster, it bumps up to Florida.
Okay,
that's why you have a Sharp Lane and a Sharp Road.
I never even recognized the Sharp one until it gets to Cedar Crest.
Right. Now, Sharp Lane to the north of Florida.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was just Sharp Road. I didn't realize it changed to Sharp. I didn't realize there were 2 between Sharp Lane and Sharp Road. All right, but I mean, we've seen Sherwood becomes Siegen becomes Burbank.
How about Dalrymple Park, South 19th, North 19th?
Right. Yeah. We have it so many different places around town. I don't think we're going to be cleaning any of that up with the survey. But what we will be doing is getting feedback from the 5 parish area. Which 5 parishes?
East and West Baton Rouge, Livingston, Ascension, and Iberville Parish.
When we were heading to break, you were talking about some operational improvements.
Yes.
Lay out for me what's on the table there.
Operational improvements are like, for instance, the Green Light program that was passed by Kip Holden in his first term did a lot of intersection improvements. Your Perkins at Stanford, or changed to Acadian on the other side, right? Essen at Essen/Starring at Perkins, right?
Yeah, Perkins is one where they changed names a lot.
Yes. East Airport at Goodwood just did a lot of intersection improvements, put a lot of turn lanes in, Lobdell at Florida. So he recognized that you need right of way to build to build new roads, but operational improvements, which is where most of our congestion is at the intersections. That goes a long way. And then of course the elephant in the room is the signal synchronization.
Okay, so this is when it gets me in trouble. Every time I open my mouth about signal synchronization, Fred Rayford comes in and like, you know, he beats me with a hose. It was because we've been promised this for generations.
It was when we did our first air quality analysis after the Clean Air Act of 1990. So in 1994, the projects we're working on today were put in the plan.
94.
A third of a century ago.
I was still in high school. Yep. Brian, the lights are synchronized. I'm like, no, they're not. Okay.
Yes, that's part of the issue is that there are state and federal regulations.
Why is it we can't get that done? I mean, is it because we weren't built as one grid?
No, it was just the fact that a lot of times the state and federal regulations stopped them from working certain spots. In recent history, Kip Holden at the end of his term was doing road transfer program. And so that transferred a lot of state roads over to local roads, and that threw in the kink of who owned the road and whose design standards got used. And we're still dealing with that today, 9 years after he left office.
How much, that brings up another really good question here. How much of this is going to be like big picture, big ticket items versus like how much of, when you open things up to public feedback, you're getting a lot of things like undo the government street road diet.
Right.
How do you keep from getting bogged down?
Well, the plan's going to basically be in two parts. What we have to produce and do air quality analysis on is the fiscally constrained plan. And that's the plan that goes out 25 years. And we look back 20 years to see what kind of money was spent so that we can forecast that going forward. The other part of the plan is the unmet needs. And that is probably 80% of the cost. Those are those big ticket items like widening Plank Road all the way out to Zachary. Widening Hooper Road, which has never been funded in 40 years. Building the over on the west side, building the LA1 415 connector, which has gone from $50 million under Bobby Jindal to now over $250 million.
Oh, and you want to see me get hot on a topic real quick with the supposed new bridge going to be on the way? If we don't have, we need all that laid out before we get the bridge there, and we know it's going to happen in reverse.
For instance, that's a very good point. So 8 years ago, when we had finished our long-range plan, we had put LA 30 widening as the number one project for the region. We haven't started the environmental yet.
Thank you. Yeah, the highway widening Highway 30 all the way out to 10, from 10 to 10. I mean, just that. I don't know why that isn't like. Everybody stop what you're doing, grab a shovel, and go help.
It was estimated in 2013 at $220 million. This plan will update that number, and it will be vastly higher than that.
And it feels like that's so much easier than a 1 to 415 connector because of the ground that's underneath it.
Yes, but there also, like I said earlier, there's a whole bunch of pipelines that run alongside LA 30, and getting the cost estimate for that is going to be difficult, but actually getting them moved is going to be very expensive.
Last one before we get you out of here. Well, probably last two before we get you out of here. As how much do current trends play into overall planning? For example, everywhere you turn around now, somebody's putting in a roundabout somewhere. They seem to be effective so far. Is this? Will we be seeing probably more of that trend?
Yes, I would say roundabouts are a trend, mainly because of traffic operational efficiencies. Also, there are safety benefits for roundabouts. You get a lot less wrecks, and they're no longer T-bones or side swipes. They're more glancing blows, and so they're a lot safer. They're a lot more better for
efficient.
operational
So much more
efficiency.
efficient. Yeah.
They do have some setbacks though.
They do, and most of them is because most of them are operator error. So he is Jamie Setze, the executive director of the Capital Region Planning Commission, CPRCLA.org, CPRCLA.org. That's where you're going to find the survey. It is open it's open for another week, basically.
Yep.
So get over there, get it done, make your voice heard. Jamie, appreciate the time this morning.
Thank you, Brian.
7 o'clock at Talk 107.3 FM. Here comes news.
Well, thank you very much, Brian.
No,
I appreciate
my
it.
absolute pleasure.
Look, when we get some more data, I'd love to come talk to you about some of that. But LA 30 has been one of my greatest concerns because you can't. Basically, what it looks like is you build a new bridge, you got to deal with it.
Right, from both sides.
How do you get LA 30 is already oversubscribed?
Yes.
And so we see that as the elected officials of the region that's a main issue is widen it now.
Right. And I understand pipelines and thing. I get all that, but I can't be convinced that it's going to be done at some point. So why aren't we doing it?
Well, by the right of way. That was the whole issue of starting it 8 years ago, was to get to the right of way phase, at least by the right of way.
And see, one of the things that I don't understand about talk radio, people want to bitch about politics all day long. This shit affects our lives.
Yes.
This affects my day to day, your day to day. This affects how, getting my kids to and from practice, getting home at a reasonable hour. This shit affects my life on a day to day basis, and it's emotional.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, if you want to see a fun rant, have someone step on their brakes inside the circle on a damn roundabout.
Oh, I know. There was a woman just sitting there the other day, and she's doing this to me. I'm like, no,
You're in the circle.
Go.
Right.
You're already
you're the priority.
You're going to get people killed.
Yeah.
And there are the accidents in a roundabout are less, but you're going to cause them, and it's going to be a big rear end. So, anywho.
Well, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Just give me a call anytime.
We'll do.
Like to come on. Thank you very much. You have a good day too, man.
You have a good day.
Just go out the way I came in, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
This is Adrienne Holly with Relief Windows, your window and door headquarters, reliefwindows.com.
Talk 107.3 Weather.
Expect a active morning and an active day of weather throughout the course of the day.
Tornadoes, Brian.
Everyone getting in.
We're all going to die.
Thunderstorms. Some of these could even be strong to severe. A level 2 out of 5 or slight risk has been posted for the entire entire area. So huge tornadoes, dust storms, flooding.
Huge tornadoes.
Concerns. We see one more round early on Saturday morning before a cold
I keep looking through the National Weather Service app. We have a flood watch, and that's it. I mean, it might hit by noon. They might update it, but
And I'm gonna feel terrible.
see, this looks like it's already scaling back just a little bit.
Oh, good.
So
But it will rain into the overnight hour, right?
yeah, but the severity of it is what I'm talking about. 7:05, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing. We're starting off the 7 o'clock hour at 72 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. And of course, we are broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros. Is it time for your IT to do a 180? Visit 180pros.com. All right, we've got Metro Councilwoman Jenn Racca slated for this hour. Hey, Bree Lynn, you saw in the rundown where the segment after Jen, I didn't put anything in there.
Yes.
Because every time Jen comes on, we always have too much conversation left over. So I'm hoping I got some areas we got some topics we can cover. If not, but I'm hoping that if she's going to stay over for a second segment today, because we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about blight, fighting blight. So yeah, I always know every time Metro Councilwoman Racca is in here, that I look up at the clock and it's time for news, and it's like we're not even half done. So
I love it. Can't wait.
Yep. All right. Don't forget, next hour, the Pennington Biomedical Research Center is going to be in with us in the 8 o'clock hour. And there's two E's, the Heavenly Donut, making king cakes. We're doing king cakes every Foodie Friday, all the way through Mardi Gras. February 13th is the last Friday we'll be doing that. So, all right, let's start off with top stories and trending.
It's what the 225 is waking up to.
Hey, wake up!
Baton Rouge Metro Airport presents top stories and trending.
Something is going on here!
Right now on Talk 107.3. Number 5.
Talking about blight with Jenn Racca later on. Also talking about that in our news as well. Over the last 12 years, the city of Detroit has addressed nearly 47,000 land bank abandoned homes through demolition or rehabilitation through programs offered by the Detroit Land Bank Authority. Well, Baton Rouge looks like we're about to make some copy and paste to what's going on in Detroit, as a number of leaders, Jen is included in that number, have gotten back from Detroit. What's the plan when it comes to blight? Well, that's what we're about to dive into moving forward.
Number 4.
Livingston Parish Council voted unanimously to replace 2 bridges Thursday night. The resolution replaces the Milton Road Bridge over Beaver Branch, and I'm grabbing this from WBRZ. It just says the John L. Lane Road Bridge over a creek.
Over a creek. How big is the creek?
I don't know. Was the name of the creek? No.
Okay.
It just says over a creek.
Number 3.
One person was taken to the hospital after shooting on Columbus Dunn Drive and Gus Young Avenue, according to BRPD. Happened about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, 2:10 yesterday afternoon. Officials say the victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Officials on the scene said the shooting was the result of a domestic dispute between 2 women.
Number 2.
Former Louisiana House Speaker Clay Schechtner pleaded not guilty Thursday to felony charges connecting to the disappearance of an ancient Cypress board that is considered a state artifact. Schechtner was indicted and arrested in November after the board was last seen in his Gonzales Legislative Office, which is a legislative office, and that's the last place he saw it as well.
Number 1.
Louisiana Department of Health said Thursday that a Louisiana child has died from influenza this flu season. Been a terrible flu season thus far, and according to the quote, to protect the family's privacy and additional information about the patient will not be released. That's from an LDH spokesperson. According to the CDC, 48 states are at a very high level of flu.
Top stories are in the books. Now let's check in on what's trending.
What's trending?
President Trump is scheduled to meet with oil industry executives this afternoon as he pushes U.S. oil companies to invest in Venezuela.
That's a tough sell. I hope he can sell it, but man, it's so. To tell me if I'm an oil executive,
right,
to tell me my people and my product are going to be safe, it's going to take some convincing.
Well,
it's just Venezuela we're talking about here.
Gulf of America, and then you have Venezuela.
Well,
You know what I mean? But it talking about safety.
But
And
you've got the Caribbean mixed in there too.
True.
Like in
true,
between
true.
there.
Right.
You have to traverse the Caribbean before you get to the Gulf of America. So
Yeah, more to come. More to come, I'm sure. More meetings, too. Hundreds of people marched in freezing rain last night down one of Minneapolis's major thoroughfares, making their feelings about ICE abundantly clear, chanting, in quote, ICE out now.
good for them. Good for them. If you want to make your voice heard, if you want to get out and protest, especially if you want to brave the icy rain, get after it. Go ahead. There's other days where I might make fun of this sort of thing, but on a day like today, I will definitely say this is the manner in which you do it. This is the manner in which you make your voice heard. Now, following ICE agents around, that's a different story. Taking direct action, throwing bricks at ICE agents, that is not the way to do things. Running them over with your car, not the way to do things.
Right.
There's a right way and a wrong way. Making your voice heard, definitely. We are still a land of free speech. So
Right.
absolutely.
All for
Get out
peaceful.
there,
Yeah.
shout as loud as you can.
I'm going to say it right. Elon Musk, his artificial intelligence company XAI, is set to spend $20 billion to build a data center in South Haven, Mississippi. Governor Tate Reeves announced yesterday, calling it the largest private investment in the state's history.
So we're not the only stupid ones. Is that where this is going
Right.
here? Because we're
Everybody's like, oh, what are they doing there? Let's do it too.
Well, but you see so many people stand up and like get mad about us having the Meta data center
Right.
up east of Monroe in I'm forgetting the name, Holly Ridge. But this is a very similar idea, similar project. Probably not the scale, but I mean, South Haven, Mississippi is it's closer to
it's-
Memphis than anything else.
And it's a small town, correct?
Oh God, yeah. They take turns being mayor. It's a very small
Right.
town. Recently had the whole town carpeted. Very small town.
Wow.
7-Eleven, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it is time to talk blight, fighting blight, fresh off of her trip to Detroit. We got Metro Councilwoman Jenn Racca. Good morning.
Happy Friday. Happy
All
New
of the
Year.
things. So, I don't know if you were listening on the way in.
I was not.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was.
How quickly do you have to be out here?
I can be here for as long as you need me.
Fantastic, because I didn't book anything for the segment after you.
Whoa.
Because the last 3 times you've been on, we've hit the news, and I'm like, well, shit, there's still a lot more to cover. So,
It's party time.
kill the mics, please. Seven 13, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Metro Councilwoman Jenn Racca in the house. Going to get to her in exactly 60 seconds. I do need to remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. Who is Industry Makes? Well, Industry Makes is a campaign born out of a collaboration and a need to present a united industrial front in the face of coordinated anti-industrial messaging. What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about the people that protest every time anything pops up. We're talking about the people who, anytime someone's looking to add new jobs, looking to, make sure your neighbor's house isn't foreclosed on, or building the things that America runs on, Industry Makes, this is where they come in as a unified voice. If you want to learn more, visit industrymakes.org, industrymakes.org. Remember, let everyone else make noise. We'll make everything else. All right, let's talk about fighting blight.
Good morning.
Fresh off of a trip to Detroit, we've got Jenn Racca in the house. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
I have to tell you, I'm happy it's Friday.
Are you?
Yes.
I don't even know what that means anymore.
I don't really either. I just know that I can work from home tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's full on basketball season. So,
good times. Good times.
Fourth grade basketball, big time.
Oh, I love
big time
that.
fourth grade basketball. Yeah. Where the kids come in with their shirts from their trainer in fourth grade.
In fourth grade.
From their year-round teams in fourth grade. Yeah.
We did T-ball in kindergarten, and they had their own walk-up music.
Oh, my God.
It was wild. That's how we knew we were about to lose really big.
So if I can land an NIL deal for James, I'll be super happy.
Good for you. I like that you're starting early.
He's not good. Anyway,
same.
we got a lot of ground to cover here. I feel like I'm burying the lead, but sequentially we kind of have to bury the lead.
Let's do it.
All right. Tell me about the Detroit trip. What the mission was and what you learned.
We're starting there. You want to start there?
Well,
you don't want to start with your radio show?
Legitimately burying the lead.
Because we were all tuned in.
Well, I got to tell you, we tracked the web numbers and there was a spike in Detroit.
Okay.
I'll leave it up to you. Where do you want to start with?
Yeah, let's start there.
The head of the partnership, the Greater Baton Rouge Economic Partnership, Lori Melancon, she was in earlier in the week. And she was all kinds of fired up, and she's got a lot of energy. And I feel like it's coming from the right place, but she simultaneously said we're not doing enough, and everything that we've done is illegal.
No, not everything they've done. Everything.
We've done.
The council.
When I say we, I mean East Baton Rouge Parish, which means as a representative of the Metro Council. That's the we that I'm talking about is we as EBR.
Yep.
So walk me through a little bit of what she had to say, and
absolutely,
is she close? Is she on point?
Let's chat that out.
Right.
Because I understand there's some frustration there, and I just want to maybe vet that out so your listeners and everybody in the city can understand, the parish can understand exactly what that looks like. But let me just tell you, we had you tuned in on our phones. I had whiplash looking back at the mayor's team, looking back at my phone, trying to figure out what is happening. So what is happening? Let's talk that through. And I think that you can probably see, if you look to history and you look to what this past year with the mayor's team has looked like for the council and the parish, some of the struggles that we've had when they initially started. So let's identify those. Mm-hmm. Lori talked about a transition report. Mm-hmm. So he had a transition committee that came in, and they were citizens with a lot of knowledge that were coming in to try to help the city and the parish be a better place. Mm-hmm. And they put this magnificent report together, and look, they had great leaders, people that were interested in helping all of our parish be better.
Right.
However, littered into that same group or the grifters that you see on social media that don't really have jobs, don't really contribute to the city in any way other than just constantly antagonizing and being the no people to everything that the elected officials do. And sure, everybody has those.
Yes.
Okay. We saw some of those in Detroit.
No, and we've seen them repeatedly. We've seen them repeatedly since the beginning of the independent school districts is when I really started noticing, like, hey, we need change, but we're going to crap on any kind of change you propose.
And look, they're loud.
Yeah.
They're very loud. They're very active. They're very engaged. They sit through council meetings, and then they go home and post things that don't even reflect what accurately occurred. Well, so we have combated that over this first year, because I believe, based upon their loud commentary, that the mayor and his team were convinced that the council was the devil. Mm-hmm. And look, sometimes we are. Like, sometimes we are, but I think that they were convinced you can't trust the council. They're bad. They're going to get you. They're your enemy. And we battled that the entire first year with this team, trying to say, we're here to help. Mm-hmm. Even the Democrats on the council, the Republicans, we have collaborated and worked together on many things. They all came together at the first of the year and said, How can we help you? We're giving you everything we've got, all the knowledge that we have. How can we help you? So take that and think about this. So the law that was written, this is clearly reflected in the law that was written that Ms. Melanson cited. And I understand she worked really hard. She championed this transition report. She too probably is frustrated like we were at first that she wanted to be a part of the success of this mayor's team moving forward. The law that was written focused primarily on what the council was doing wrong. And they snatched the condemnation processes from the power of the council and gave it to a blight court judge, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, and you see, after she contacted the other news outlets, there was a story where both our Mayor Pro Tem, Brandon Knoll, and I identified the issue. First of all, I was not included in the process of that law. I was not contacted. I was not included in what that law was going to look like. There were a bunch of non-lawyers that I think champion that, and that's fantastic. That's your right. But I think that's kind of how we got in the issue that the problem that we are here now facing. That law directly conflicts with our plan of government. The other thing is that law identifies a very, very small problem. Why we went to Detroit. We went to understand what this massive, largest land bank in all of the United States is doing effectively. What problems have they faced over the course of the past 10 years that they have already solved that we can avoid by making our land bank better, tackling our blight and tackling our condemnations in a more expeditious fashion, and be able to return these properties to the people of the parish in a manner in which they're revitalized, reinvested, and making all of the parish a better place, and most importantly, a safer place.
Okay, safer place. We're going to get into all that as well. 100%. But I want to stay. Let's stay on, since we started with Laura Melanson's segment earlier in the week. What is help me sift through how she said everything that's been done since August 1st has been against the law.
Right. So because Act 456 that was put in place in August of 2025 says that the council no longer has the power to hear condemnations, that it has to go to
the blight court.
Yes. Correct.
Have we been bypassing that, or
our plan of government that was drafted prior to that act says absolutely not. The power is vested with the council.
So,
and look, let me tell you.
You see where my confusion's coming in, because it's like, who's right?
Correct.
That's not the right answer.
Yeah. Who's right? Who's on first? Who's on second?
Right.
But let me ask you
what's on second? Sorry.
Yes. So why are we having this conversation now? If something was being done wrong or improperly, why didn't the partnership, excuse me for just emphasizing partnership, why didn't they come to the council and say, hey, Jen, I think we have a problem?
Yeah.
And that problem dates all the way back to August. Like, there was no conversation.
Yeah.
There was no communication. Instead, we get attacked. And that was just bizarre. And I don't want to keep harping on it, but because there are some really good things that we learned. That was bizarre in the sense that it was an attack.
Yeah.
It was like the Spidey picture pointing fingers at, if we had an issue or a problem, come to us, come talk to us, have somebody from the board reach out. We have good relationships with people there. Have a conversation.
Well, I get what you're saying. Her energy and her energy, her skill set, and her fire, I believe, come from the right place. She wants to make Baton Rouge better.
Sure.
Just like you want to make
do.
Exactly.
We all
exactly.
do.
And blight directly affects our mission. I mean, you can't have economic development if every time you turn around, there's a trap house and, Stank is escorting people around till they're gone.
We absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. Sorry, that was way too direct of a reference. I don't think anybody got that. I don't think you might have gotten that. I don't know. All right. But back to you. Back to it. Where her energy was directed aside, how do we sift through to make sure that nothing we're doing moving forward runs afoul of one side or the other? Like, are we rowing in the right direction now?
We've always been rowing in the right direction. Now, the programs that we have, what we've discovered, what I discovered personally, I'm going to speak on behalf of myself. What I've discovered is the Baton Rouge, Build Baton Rouge is our current land bank. We have programs like Mow to Own, which are very similar to Mow to Own.
Mow to Own?
Yes. So it's a property program where blighted properties are put back into commerce potentially through mowing your neighbor's lot. And then if you mow it for a certain period of time, then you own the property. But there are problems even with that. So, and not illegal problems, just problems with regard to timeliness. So there are several programs in place to be able to return blight back to its original condition, the nice condition. And Baton Rouge has that. We have resources, we have federal grants, we have dollars that have come in that have traditionally been used, but are they being used to their fullest potential? And the answer to that question is no. And the reason why, what we discovered the reason to be why is because, and we sort of knew this, and is that they're not being returned as quickly. The program bottlenecks, the program that we currently have in place slows down, and it takes years. And while we're taking years to get these properties returned to commerce and reinvested, we have to maintain them. We have to do the maintenance, or in
Does that carry liability with it?
In other situations, I love that you asked that. In other situations, we can't touch it at all. So we don't have ownership, but we've acquired the property in a legal sense, and we have to wait a period of time before we actually have ownership. So during that period of time, you have a broke down, abandoned home that we can do absolutely nothing to. So,
okay.
Detroit had answers for us.
Okay, so this is where we're going to pivot. We got 5 minutes left here, but I've already gotten your promise. You can hang around for the next segment, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's pivot over to Detroit. You said a moment ago you went to Detroit to understand what they were doing effectively. I want to start off with those who don't. Every time Baton Rouge has a chance to go somewhere, we go somewhere to learn something, and then we come home and we try to disseminate what's been going on. And who was I talking about with it? This actually might have been the conversation with Lori, all the way back to the Austin 6. Like every time we turn around, we can go somewhere. What is it about going somewhere that aids and helps accelerate the learning process?
Well, this was the first time that I was able to go somewhere to try to learn what another city is doing that we could potentially take and make better here in Baton Rouge. And as the mayor said at the Rotary Club meeting in the State of the City address, we weren't going there for fun. If I'm going somewhere for fun, it's not going to be Detroit. Yeah, well, he has a personal affliction to cold weather. He is made for
and flying.
Yes, for warm weather. I could see he was very cold. I was concerned as soon as I got off the airplane and could feel in the tarmac the cold air coming in. I said, "Oh, how's he going to do?" Yeah. He does not like cold. So for him, it was, I'm assuming, much more of a chore than for most of us.
Understood.
Not his climate. So why Detroit? What about the stigma attached to Detroit?
47,000 abandoned or blighted properties. That's a big number.
Correct. It absolutely is. And look, I've watched movies and I've seen national news media sources kind of talk poorly about Detroit and how horrible it is and how terrible it is. And hey, you tune into some social media post, downtown Baton Rouge is the exact same way.
Right.
But let me tell you, I was in downtown Detroit and it was absolutely beautiful. And I never felt unsafe.
Really?
Yes. Okay. If you have an opportunity to go, even if you're not in that particular area, I would tell you, go look, go see, try it out. It was beautiful. All of the stigmas and stereotypes that I heard going into Detroit did not apply.
The people there who were guiding you all around and helping you in this educational trip, were they able to give you like an overlay, like before and after pictures?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but more than that,
okay,
more than pictures that you see on the internet, we drove the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We went into refurbished homes and we went into areas that were dilapidated. And the most interesting part to me is you would go onto blocks and blocks of homes in Detroit, and there would be massive amounts of homes that have been established for 20, 30, 40, 50 years of vacant land in between these homes. green space, white space, because there was snow everywhere.
Sure.
But you would have these large masses of land in between homes. Some people that purchased these land plots that have been gone through the land bank, they planted trees. They decided, hey, you know what? Developer's not going to come in. We're going to plant these beautiful trees that are low maintenance, that take up this particular block. And that's what we're going to have in between our homes now. There's so many neat things to see and to understand what the impact of the land bank has had on these homes and these neighborhoods. The fact that some of their programs even empower the neighborhood associations to come in and decide what's going to be, like, purchase the property back for the neighborhood association at minimal cost to make green space for these areas that cannot be developed or will not be developed in the future. Just so many things that I think Baton Rouge residents and East Baton Rouge Parish residents would look at and say, hey, that's wonderful. But for me, the biggest examination that I needed were the legal processes.
Okay, we're going to talk about legal processes. When it comes to blight, it's a pretty widespread definition. We're going to narrow in on what Baton Rouge is actually facing here, and we've got a lot more. Metro Councilwoman Jenn Racca going to stick around with us for another segment. Right now, it's 7:30. Here's news. Grifters on social media when you said they come to the Metro, they sit through the Metro Council meetings and took everything and made it down to say until they get arrested. Okay, so we're talking about what the role of the land bank is, because I don't want that lost.
So the most important piece about the role of the land bank, and the most important piece that I learned, is ownership. We don't acquire ownership when a property goes through the condemnation process expeditiously. What the land bank does is they have a nuisance abatement statute. That nuisance abatement statute allows the land ownership to go through a quiet title / foreclosure style proceeding that grants the ownership of the land to the land bank in an average time of 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
So that is the most important piece.
Okay. Yeah, because this is not a part of government that we see on a day-to-day basis.
No, it's not.
It's not visible to the public. So I think
Right.
explanation on that.
And so
is
that circles back to when we look at what the law 456 was created, it never identifies the ownership, and the ownership is the real issue.
Some places, when it comes to blight, some places have problems with clarity of who has the title. Do we have that problem here? That's going to be another question. It's like, how do we know? Like, do we know who all these properties belonged to?
That is the nuisance abatement law allows us to clear title quickly. So
Will we know who had it before?
So
Or do we have to know who had it?
even with succession rights, it expedites the process with succession rights. The way that it's written allows us to move through these processes and eliminate, because the nuisance abatement law says, because it is a problem because it's a safety issue or hazard to the city, they can abate it in a more expedited process. Now, look, they still have due process in place. There are 8 touches to the owners, potential owners, or their heirs. They have it all documented through their legal team, but it still is, it's much quicker. And the law that was written in statute, then codified again in their city ordinance, allows for this process where they can go through a foreclosure type proceeding quicker and faster than what we're doing here.
Okay.
There are probably at least 10 different statutes and 10 different
2
ordinances.
segments is still not going to be enough.
I'm sorry.
No.
It's a lot of information. But I mean, that then goes back to show that what we did with what the chamber, the partnership tried to do was just, you took the power from the council, but then you didn't correct the issue of ownership. And the issue of ownership is where we have years and years and years of delays.
I'm trying to because there's parallels to post Katrina New Orleans.
Correct.
And I'm trying to navigate those with.
For me, let's just speak about for what happens with Jenn Racca. So currently, as it states, I have an apartment complex that has the most amount of crime ever in my district, centrally focused around that apartment complex.
What apartment complex?
In
is
the
that?
past, Hiller, the hub.
Oh,
Hiller sends a
Yeah.
a nuisance abatement letter to the owners where there could be fees or fines. Under this new statute, we could expropriate the property from them if it's a hazard to the citizens and to the safety of my constituents or in the surrounding area.
how does it? Well, okay, but how does that solve the problem? Is you see where I'm?
We expropriate the property, we put it in the land bank. The land bank rehabs the apartment complex. Whenever they rehab the apartment complex, there are rules in place that this apartment complex has to follow for 5 years. If they don't follow those rules, there's reconveyance information in the agreement documentation they initially signed that reverts the property back to the land bank. All Detroit's main theme with all of the leaders that we met with is we are setting people up for success, but we're not going to accept failure. So they have all of these.
I think I'm asking the question wrong.
Okay.
No matter who physically owns it, no matter who has the title, you still have the same people there. Those are the people that are committing the crimes, right? Like,
yeah, but if the land bank owns the title, the people are out. The apartment,
okay,
the tenants are gone. The apartment the complex now is owned by the land bank. The land bank then assesses the property and decides, is this going to be our green space and we're going to knock this down because it's blighted or condemned?
Does that solve the problem or move the problem?
Well, it depends.
Just somebody else's apartment complex.
Well, it depends. In Detroit, it solved the problem.
Okay.
Based upon the crime statistics, it solved the problem. The other piece is, so think about this. You have houses in a neighborhood block that are blighted or condemned. And while they're waiting to go through the ownership process and title acquisition process, instead of having things boarded up, what they've done is effectively utilize clear boarding, which is clear plexiglass windows that they properly secure. That clear boarding allows somebody to drive through the neighborhood, like the partnership, bringing people in for industrial purposes, to look at these homes and see that they're beautified. They're beautiful homes, and they don't understand and don't realize that they're all boarded up with plywood and stuff like that. So it's an aesthetic thing. All of these small things have helped with the bigger piece. Sorry. It's a lot of information.
I'm probably only about 40% of the way understanding it. 736 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We're talking blight with Metro Councilwoman Jenn Racca. Okay, fresh off of the trip to Detroit where y'all took in a lot.
Yes.
Okay, now let's bring it back home and kind of have the conversation from what you learned in Detroit. Because every time we can go somewhere, we do learn things. It's the implementation, right? The devil's in the details on the implementation. So, and let's move over to this one.
Okay, perfect.
Blight can mean a number of different things in a number of different places. Define what Baton Rouge's blight problem actually looks like.
So our blight problem is centrally focused in some districts, and it can be city blocks. Mm-hmm. In my district, it looks much different. So every district that you look at, it could be a boarded up home that is sitting for years and years because you either have issues with reaching out to heirs through succession, or it could be there because it's a tax abatement procedure and you have certain required timelines for whenever you have to currently wait before you can take ownership of that particular property. There are all kinds of reasons. The succession issue is something that we face regularly, and I think our district attorney has spoken on that multiple times with regard to crime and homes that have been owned generationally. You can't identify the owners because successions weren't properly done decades ago.
I mentioned this to you during the break. Is like there's parallels there between post-Katrina New Orleans, where like trying to define clear title was just a major mess.
Correct, and that we're experiencing that here as well. Mm-hmm. And whenever you look at it, and the pilot program that we would move forward with would be on properties that are completely abandoned, properties that are vacant. We're not taking anything from anyone that's occupying their home. We're looking at the condemnation process that identifies properties that have been left, properties that are in ruin, properties that no one's caring about currently.
This brings us around to, you made mention a couple times of the land bank. This is not a part of our government that we see on a day-to-day basis. What's the role of the land bank?
So the land bank has the properties. It's a quasi public-private entity. They have the properties. They're maintaining the properties. They then, because the land bank is separate and apart from the city parish, they then have to do the maintenance on the properties that they have. Whenever ownership is properly transferred to the land bank, then they have more access to federal grants and funding and what they can do to return the property either to developers. We saw opportunities where they could return the home to grad students and have some incentives there to where these students could use the home as duplexes. One is a place to live, and then the other side of the home as a place to rent to cover their mortgage expenses. They'd have to go through education processes, and there'd be reconveyance language that made sure that they were taking care of the property properly, or else the property would be returned to the land bank. There were so many programs out there. There were programs for teachers. There were programs for their city workers. There were programs for first responders. There were programs for people that normally could not acquire a piece of property because they have credit issues. But all of their programs focused, and this was a central theme throughout the leadership in Detroit, is we are building our city up for success, but we will not tolerate failure. So they had really important language looped into their documentation when these pieces and parcels of land or these homes were being given to these people, that there was reconveyance language that basically said, if they do not complete the contract and requirements that we've given them, it will be directly returned to the land bank. The home would be in default of what they were supposed to do. The home or property would be returned to the land bank, and they would reacquire ownership. They're supposed to be sending us that language. When I started this, I said we had one little law 456. These people have over a decade of laws that they put on the books to be able to protect themselves, protect the city, protect the taxpayers, protect their neighborhoods by looking at what the land bank has done and growing those properties to reinvest them back into the community.
When you talk about reinvesting back in the community, this is it. Our blight problem in Baton Rouge, I think, is a lot more like scattered. It's here, it's there. It's like it's not like centralized. Does that affect the either the number of people who want to get involved to help out, or the level of investment they can make? That it's not, you're not like seeing somebody take on an entire block or 3 entire blocks.
So there are council members that have blocks. We identified those and looked at those on a map. There are council members that have entire blocks. So let's say, for example, and I'm not going to point these neighborhoods out specifically, but let's say we looked, Mason Bass effectively pulled up a map. We identified there are blocks where there may be 20 homes, but on that block, 5 of the homes are what you would say are being upheld, maintained, 10 are abandoned, and 5 have moved through the blight process. What Detroit would do is look at that entire block. They would say these 5 owners are really good owners. These others, we have title issues. These others, let's see whether they're dilapidated or whether they could be renovated. They would take the ones that potentially could be renovated. They would renovate those homes, apply their federal grants and programming to be able to get people into those homes, and they would tear down the ones that just could not be rehabbed, and they may have a side lot sell for that particular neighborhood block, or they might have that particular parcel given to new young developers with some requirements that are put in place and with some costs associated with a bond that they have to post to be able to go and develop that property, show that they effectively put a home on that lot to be put back into commerce. And they'd be incentivized through these federal programs to be able to effectively do that and put them back into commerce. And what you've done is you've cleaned that block up. You've rewarded the homeowners that have taken care of their property and kept their property in a good condition. And you've helped that block fight blight, fight crime. And now it's beautified. It's in a better place and situation than it was before. Just to your point, we rode around Detroit. They had one of the my favorite things that I saw was we went on the block where at one time all of the Ford moguls owners that lived in Detroit had these mansions that were on this block, and not 2 streets over we saw a neighborhood that was plagued at one time with blight, that Detroit came in and they were looking at this neighborhood, revitalizing this neighborhood, taking homes down. But I mean, it was 2 streets over. It wasn't far from these $1 million homes. So we have very similar homes like that here in Baton Rouge, maybe not to the size and scale of blight that Detroit has. They had many more occupants. They had larger land masses, but there is very similar problems on a smaller scale.
When it comes to it, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions. They're probably just stupid questions or way too element. What we're looking at here is places that are residential flipping to remain residential, right? And we're not looking to change the face of Baton Rouge with, like, if you've got individual homes, they're going to remain individual homes. We're not throwing up a big, Section 8 apartment building somewhere.
No, absolutely not. That's not the goal.
Right. It is primarily our blight residential?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, you can look to certain parts of Baton Rouge and see that there are businesses that are just antiquated. They've been there forever and they're falling apart. Government Street, some of those corridors. So they do have a commercial portion to their blight program that has effectively gotten business owners into these properties, incentivized them, given them tax incentive programs to be able to come in, revitalize this particular area. But we do that on some scale. If you look at some of the buildings down there, we're currently doing that. So what we're doing is enhancing the programs that we currently have, enhancing the grants that we currently have, making sure all of our departments are talking and working together. There's not a duplicated effort, making sure that we move things more expeditiously. We make sure that we clear up title faster. That is going to take some work with the legislature, with the council, trying to get all the laws on the books to make sure that we're absolutely following due process. Make sure that we're absolutely giving landowners the rights that they deserve, but also eliminating the delays. And look, the delays are in the title and establishing clear title.
Let's stick with that part, because you talked about the bottleneck. One of the things that you talked about when looking at the difference between Detroit and us is the bottleneck. Is clear title, is that the biggest part of the bottleneck, or is it getting it from that point to the next point along the way?
So it's clear. It's definitely clear title. That is the bottleneck. That is where the years and years and years of delay come in, where you have your bureaucratic tape, where you have your clogging up the judicial system because we don't have laws in place to expedite the clear title.
I'm sorry. We should have started with this too, like very, very early on, just to have numbers here. 47,000 properties in Detroit. And they got it to under 1,000. I want to say they're somewhere around 900.
That's correct.
Scale wise, what is Baton Rouge looking at as far as the number of blighted properties we've got?
So forgive me, because I've heard so many numbers over the course of the past 48 hours, but I believe that the mayor's team, their last look was somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000.
Okay. So we'll just call it 7 to split the difference. Walk me through a little bit of if everything y'all brought home from Detroit can be implemented, walk me through a little bit of like we got 2.5 minutes left, what the process looks like to get us on the path to where not a finished product. We're never gonna be a finished product, but to get us on that path to where we're coming out the other side looking a lot better.
The mayor's team is running. The mayor's team is putting this into effect. They're taking everything they learned and trying to implement it. They're having conversations. We met with the parish attorney's office yesterday and spent over an hour with them talking about everything that we learned, the laws that need to be put in place. What we're hoping is the things that are absolutely required to get the process moving and started. We are very hopeful we can see it at the legislature in the next session.
Wait, what's their role?
We may need some laws to be passed.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So the nuisance abatement law, we're seeing that we have the criminal law. We maybe have a hybrid of their civil law, but that law may have to be expanded upon. It may have to be completely rewritten in order to fight that bottleneck there with regard to title. We may need a new law in place that then the city has to adopt and make our own ordinance so we can move our property to the land bank to expedite that process. But that is the big piece. Sure, the council going all the way back to the beginning. Sure, the council has some delays with regard to our condemnation and blight process. There are efficiencies that can be done, but the council is not the only problem. That council is just a small piece of the problem and only a very, very small piece to a much larger, much broader solution. The mayor's team understands that. They're working with us. We're collaborating together for a better Baton Rouge and a better parish. This is a big win, not only for the revitalization of our city, but for safety. And I have to tell you,
Oh, 100%.
the crime statistics, the safety, that is why we're there, to make a safer place for all of us.
She is Metro Councilwoman Jenn Racca. There's physically not enough time. Like, we could keep going for another
For
hour.
sure. I have so many laws I could have just.
And again, I've got a million different follow-up questions as well. The good news is the topic's not going away, so
it's not.
We will pick it up at a later date. Right now, that we're coming up on 7:50 at Talk 107.3 FM. We will check your money now. We will check traffic, and then when we come back in, how's that weather stacking up for the afternoon? That's what's coming your way next.
I hope I wasn't too hard on Laurie.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
You want me to turn my top?
Yes, please. Everything he touches turns to shit, and has since Two shows a day, Thursday and Friday. I'll be posted up in the LSU alumni suite as far as I know. I might have to bounce around. Now I don't want to be homeless again. Like, not homeless as in like
No, I
I know where I
understand.
stay, but like having to go from hospitality suite to hospitality suite to set up and tear down a show every single time, it eats up like I don't know. Last year I slept through the economic development luncheon. So I went back to my Airbnb. I'm like, I'm gonna take. I don't stay at the hotel. I don't stay at the Hilton. I stay like there's an Airbnb right across the street. And I'm trusting you with this information. Nobody else can know this. You walk out that underground parking lot, up to the road, just right across Connecticut, right freaking there.
That's phenomenal.
No. Hi, Jen. Give the LRN cut. Yeah. Oh man. Oh. That was a lot. Thanks again to Metro Councilwoman Jenn Racca for spelling out as much as she absolutely could over that period of time. You know what I feel like right now? I feel like Thornton Mellon taking his makeup exam. Remember moving back to school when Rodney Dangerfield, when he's taking that makeup exam? That's what I feel like right now.
You were trying to take it all. I could see your wheels turning the whole time.
The wheels were turning. I was taking voracious notes, all the things, but like that is a lot of ground to cover. Like literally, not even rhetorically. That's physically a lot of ground out there. But man, good stuff. And look, it's just the beginning of the conversation, y'all. You take when we had Lori in from the partnership earlier in the week, the passion behind what she had to say and everything that Jen just had to say. And the mayor's office is going to have that same level of passion and fire. And oh, by the way, we're going to get somewhere. I'm hard pressed not to feel positive about the situation because I know that the people that want to get us somewhere are motivated to get us somewhere. So awesome stuff. And thanks again to Jenn Racca for making herself available for a couple segments right there. All right. Right now we need to pivot and talk about the weather. It's the weather. We need to talk about the weather because it's going to get nasty out there later on today. Our news partners at the Louisiana Radio Network caught up with LSU health climatologist Barry Keim to talk about what's on the way and what are we looking at starting, I don't know, I guess a little bit after noon.
We'll be in a slight risk. That's a 2 out of 5 risk for these damaging winds, hails, and tornadoes.
2 out of 5 on the tornado front, the damaging winds front. That's over the course of a number of hours this afternoon. Now, I've had the weather app. Because I'm a nerd, I have 3 different weather apps. I've had it open throughout the morning this morning. And I got to tell you, when you look at the hour-by-hour forecast, it is continually changing. So I don't know if that like volatility is going to be good for us or bad for us, or if we're going to see this scale back a little bit as the day wears on. The same thing I've been saying all morning still applies, though. If you've got anything to do, like errands to run and whatnot, if you're going to be out and about in traffic, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. After 1 p.m., you kind of want to be where you're going to be for a little while because it does look like that's when it's going to get a little bit nastier. Back to Barry Keim. The storms that are rolling through right now, that's a cold front that's going to make its way into Baton Rouge.
The high temperatures on Sunday are only going to be in the upper 50s, and that'll be a huge contrast compared to the upper 70s and 80 temperatures that we're experiencing on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not a cold person guy, but at the same time, I do like seasonably appropriate weather. So yeah, cooling things down a little bit is going to be a good thing. Keim says, by the way, as we look ahead to next week, yeah, it's going to be jacket weather, and overnight, well, 30s are probable.
We're going to bottom out on Tuesday with some of the coldest temperatures that morning. And then as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, we'll see a pretty good rebound in those temperatures.
It's just a matter of getting there and getting through this afternoon that's going to make all the difference as we're looking at a 90% chance of rain throughout the day today. And it's just actually, we might see a couple of pretty heavy thunderstorms over the next 2 hours roll through real quick before it scales back out. And then if you're looking around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's where you're going to want to be, where you're going to want to be. Rain throughout the night, but the intense thunderstorms, the wind, everything that they're talking about, warning us about, that's all going to be in the early afternoon hours. 2, 3, 4 up in there. In the meanwhile, we're also under a flood watch. We're under a flood watch from midnight this morning all the way through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we'll continue to monitor it as we go. Right now, we got a break for news. Hi, Rich. What you say, boss?
My reverse Miami colors, orange yesterday, green today.
Love
Dude,
it.
now I know you already noticed, so I'm not disrespecting you.
Okay.
Nobody works harder than you in this building.
I don't know, man. I saw on Twitter the other day that nobody works harder than you in Moscona. That was
I'm just doing that because he was right there. Dude, all right. I know you already know this. Two things.
Yeah.
Today's the anniversary of the worst moment of ever being an LSU fan.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Guess what else happened now on Sunday, 56 years ago, dude?
This coming Sunday?
Yeah. Saints hosted their first Super Bowl, City of New Orleans.
Really?
Yeah. Well, dude, here's what's cool. I don't know if you do this.
I did.
Because I know you got but
I look at the
I went ahead. It's
Yeah.
Sunday. But look, here's the deal, dude. Halftime, Al Hurt, and I don't know, YouTube. That's a timing. If you pull that up, it's a Southern band because they were the halftime deal.
Yeah.
And then that's when Al Hurt joined them.
Al Hurt was from the Super Bowl. Think about where Super Bowl
Yeah.
halftime show. I mean, they had a Southern band.
Yeah, Southern band.
That's
First
not
Super Bowl
that's not happening
halftime
today.
show.
That's not happening.
No. They got Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Dude, the tickets were $30.
Could you imagine?
Is that crazy?
I know.
I know. Now, if you want to get decent seats, you're paying more than $200.
For the Super Bowl?
No, I'm talking like for just a concert in general.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
nosebleed, $200.
Yeah. This is for the Super Bowl.
Oh,
he's talking
Super
about.
Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
$30.
$1,000?
You know what's crazy? I didn't even realize it. Dude, the game was blacked out in New Orleans?
No.
Yeah, blacked out. Why? Because at that time, what was it? Dude, check this out. Look.
Unconditional blackout rule. Wow.
I didn't even realize that. I mean, I was at the game with my dad, but I didn't realize you couldn't watch it on TV.
I bet that's part of the reason why they put in the rule of games were only blacked out till they sold out. I remember when that, but that wasn't until like the 80s. I do.
I can't pull a birthdays for some reason. Bert, I got on this day. I'm ready to go on that. The hell? It's just spinning.
Dead blasted.
National Law Enforcement Day.
Hey, just as a heads up, when we have guests in the studio like that, grab a picture of them to use with the audio when we're posting it.
Even if we have many pictures already of them.
Yeah, the picture from today is
Okay.
just.
Okay. Because if I know that we have tons of them already. I haven't been taking them, but okay, I'll start doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
I forgot with Jamie. But then I thought about it with Jen, and I was like, we have tons of Jen. But you're right.
We're not done yet. More news, more newsmakers.
And we're in business.
Hour 3 of Mornings with Brian Haldane.
My man's rocking the Ford Focus hatchback with a lot of energy, and I really love that.
Starts now.
Giddy up.
Let's get it crunk up on that fun up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it.
Sometimes you just gotta let Mary J. Blige breathe a little bit.
I see you dancing.
It's Friday. I mean, we need a little vibe.
Mary J is in the spot tonight, and I'ma make you feel alright. Come on, baby, just party with me. Let loose and set your body.
806, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. We are starting off the third hour of the show, the 8 o'clock hour. It's 72 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, is where we're vibing over here in the 180 Pros studio. 180pros.com is their website. Busy hour this hour. Pennington Biomedical Research Center, they're going to be coming by in our next segment. They've got an event coming up that I have attended before, and I can't wait to tell you about again. It's called The Answer. Really, really looking forward to this. And then we got The Heavenly Donut. That's the with 2 E's, as in the biblical spelling. The Heavenly Donut, bringing by King Cake for Foodie Friday. It is that time of year, and it's that time of year here and nowhere else. So love it. Gonna have some King Cake before it's all said and done. That's still all on the way. Gonna get you to This Day in History coming up just a second. Don't forget This Day in History, brought to you by 5 Star Printing and Signs. 271-4096 is the phone number there. Printshop5.com is the website there. Coming up January 28th, 29th, and 30th, qualifying for the state representative race in District 69. I know I'm talking to a very small audience right now. If you're planning on running in the District 69 race, you need to call Danny and let him know you heard about it right here. And he's going to take care of you. He's going to take care of you because this is his wheelhouse, man. When it comes to the yard signs, when it comes to those big old signs, when it comes to the door hangers, when it comes to the brochures, when it comes to the mailers, this is when Danny steps in, turns his hips, and puts the 350 to right center field. And this is what he does better than anybody else out there. 271-4096. That's not the only race going on right now. There's one going on across the river as well. Of course, that election's coming up in a month. But as we are in this midterm election year, as 2026 is upon us, there's going to be a slew of political races all year long. Make sure Danny's at the top of your list when it comes to your campaigning to-do list. 271-4096. All right. This day in history. Let's get it. Freaking time.
All right, 1788, Connecticut becomes the 5th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution.
No kidding. Go get them, Connecticut. Way to be followers.
1799, British Prime Minister William Pitt the Younger introduces income taxes to raise funds for the war against Napoleon.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Didn't learn his lesson at all, did he?
1861.
Mississippi. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Considered to be the first shots fired in the U.S. Civil War. A Union merchant.
Wait, what?
Yep. A Union merchant ship, the Star of the West, started firing shots. And this was considered to be the first shots fired in the U.S. Civil War.
I had a different story out of Mississippi today from 1861, where they became the second state to secede from the Union.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, going on down, 1959, Cuban revolutionary leader Fidel Castro arrives in recently captured capital city of Havana. 1959, TV Western Rawhide, dang good film, by the way, starring Clint Eastwood, premieres on CBS.
Okay.
1967, the Saints are marching in. The New Orleans Saints are officially named. On this day in 1967, the city's newest NFL franchise was formally given the name to the Saints, a nod to the classic home when the Saints go marching in the city's Catholic heritage.
Well, not just a nod to when the Saints go marching in and to the Catholic heritage, but the Saints became a franchise on November 1st, 1966, which is All Saints Day.
Yes. Okay. 1984 rock band Van Halen released their most successful album, 1984. 1989.
Wait, they released 1984 in 1984?
I think so.
How unbelievably unoriginal.
Right. 1989 Pat Sajak Show premieres on CBS. 1996 TV sitcom Third Rock from the Sun debuts on NBC. 2000 Miami Dolphin quarterback Dan Marino wins his last NFL career game. And they won it 20-17 against Seattle.
Okay.
Let's see. Skipping on down, 2007, Apple CEO Steve Jobs announces the iPhone. 2012.
2001, he introduced iTunes.
Really? How did I miss that?
I don't know. Hey, also, if we could rewind it back to 1991, It was on this day in 1991 that baseball officially banned Pete Rose from being elected to the Hall of Fame.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. In 2012, and I'm sure you had this on your list, and I had it, and then Condon comes in and he talks about it. It was a sad day. The LSU Tigers played in the BCS National Championship game against Alabama.
Okay, you can feel free to skip that one for eternity.
I know.
I was intentionally missing that one because
I had it on my list.
Unbelievable, terrible day.
It was 21-0.
I know. We didn't get past the 50-yard line by halftime.
It was horrible.
It was terrible.
Let's see. 2018, U.S. President Trump cancels program allowing 200,000 Salvadorian 17-year temporary protected status to live in the U.S.
Okay. Birthdays?
Let's see. My computer is freezing on me, so you might have to take it from me. Apparently, Tommy the Clown turns 57 today.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who it is either, but his face is.
Okay. Well, pretty good rule of thumb there is like if we don't know who it is, we could probably skip it. Bart Starr was born on this day in 1934. Richard Nixon was born on this day, I believe, in 1913. It's Joan Baez's birthday as well. Kate Middleton, J.K. Simmons. We got Muggsy Bogues. I remember Muggsy Bogues, the 5'3" Charlotte Hornets point guard. 5'3" in the NBA. Ridiculous. Also, Chad Ochocinco Johnson. It's his birthday from 1978. He was born on this day in 1978. And that is all that I have.
Ocho Cinco was a thing for a while. People were loving him.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Unfortunate.
Did you ever watch The League on FX? It's a TV show about a fantasy football league. I've
seen a few.
So there's a character on there named Rafi. And they had all kinds of like NFL players would make cameo appearances on the show. Rafi asks Chad Ochocinco Johnson, he goes, hey, are you related to Mike Ochocinco? He's what? It's not every day you meet someone with a Spanish numeral as a last name.
Oh, my gosh.
So good.
Unfortunate deaths on this day. The only thing I have is Bob Saget.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Dies of head trauma at the age of 65.
Yeah, man. I remember I get to see him perform stand-up comedy live.
Stop. I would have loved that.
Oh, he's so good. Very, very vulgar. Unbelievably.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah.
Wow. Like Ron White vulgar? Worse, huh?
Way worse.
Oh.
You know, you do Full House for and America's Funniest Home Videos for a billion years. The curse words get backed up.
I'm sure, because he can't let it out on TV.
Right. That was I would imagine a little bit of catharsis there. By the way, if you are nowhere near children or a workplace, look up the joke or look up Bob Saget, The Aristocrats.
Okay.
No, don't do that. Don't ever do that. That's bad advice. It's hilarious.
I will.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
Done.
We got to get out quick. Today is National Law Enforcement Day.
Yep. Absolutely. Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. It is 8:14, Talk 107.3 FM. Take a quick break. We got Pennington up next. Oh, wow. Okay. You already. Awesome. We got both of y'all? All right, y'all come on in. I'm going to move over to mic 2.
Oh, Lord. Mike 2.
The dreaded mic 2.
Right.
So we'll get you all of those two right there. And we're talking about the answer?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. I am really hoping to score a couple tickets for it if possible.
Yeah, we've already made
managed to
a
get
deal
you
with your
a
group
table.
to give you all a table.
We got a whole table?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got a whole
Hell
table.
yes.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Because I remember last time my wife and I were able to go, and then poor Taylor in sales, was like, he got to go but didn't get to eat.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh no.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Well, it's bigger this year since
Yeah,
we're doing it at
we'll
La
Over
Berge.
La Berge, yeah.
Yes, La Berge.
Yeah, LaBerge. Yeah.
But what a fun night and an unbelievably well-run event. It was awesome. So
Good. Glad
Cool.
to hear.
Okay. So that Bree Lynn knows how to spell everybody's name. Give them
Yes.
to
Yes.
your just B-R-I.
BRI. Mm-hmm.
And your last name was what?
Barrett. Barrett.
And give me your name one more time.
Mark
Mark
Pankey. Pankey. Like hanky panky.
E-Y. Okay.
Spell that last name.
Pankey. Like hanky panky.
Gotcha. And so BRI, Barrett, Mark, Panky.
Correct.
Perfect.
We talk about anything other than the event, or
Nope.
Nope. Just the event, what it supports.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We got the segment's about 13 minutes long.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we gotta do a lot of talking then.
Yeah.
Mhm. Best of the Bayou.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Do you want to talk about that?
Let me look it up so I can.
I wrote the blurb, so I can do it.
Mhm.
We're celebrating Louisiana's rich culture and charm, Mark.
That's good.
Paul, don't go far because I'm moving over to 2. It's the first time I've been over here
Don't
since.
leave.
I had something witty to say. Got nothing.
Right. I was like, I'm moving over to 2. I said, no.
I'm superstitious now.
Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We are a couple minutes away from Foodie Friday that's coming up. We are celebrating King Cakes all carnival season, the Heavenly Donuts in the house, and that is coming up in our next segment. Right now, though, there's an event coming up, at the towards the end of March that needs to be on everybody's calendar like immediately. It's an incredible event. It's called The Answer. It's put on by the Pennington Biomedical Research Center. Joining us now to talk about it, we've got Bree Barrett and Mark Pankey from Pennington. Welcome aboard. How y'all doing this morning?
Pretty great.
Doing well, thanks.
There we go. All right, welcome aboard. Before we get into what the answer is, I just want to talk about where the money's going, what's being raised and whatnot, because I say this every time I have Pennington on the show. We have one of the most underrated, underappreciated, world-renowned resources in our own backyard. To us, it's just a building off Perkins. All right, let's talk a little bit about, before we get to the answer, a little bit about what goes into the work at Pennington and what it means to y'all individually. Start with you, Bree.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pennington is, like you said, this under the radar gem for Baton Rouge, world renowned in the scientific community. We have been the place where nearly every obesity and diabetes drug on the market gets tested, analyzed, and studied for effectiveness and safety. And we're right here in our backyard. Yeah. So it's just incredible, as a place that is focused on doing pure scientific research and translating that from the lab to bedside, directly to the people who benefit from it, and working on the most chronic diseases that are facing our society, obesity, diabetes, cancers, Alzheimer's, things that we're all affected by. All of us have family members affected by, and we're working on that right here.
Mark, you are not allowed to just say ditto. Pick it up from there.
No, well, I do have to second what Bree said, but I also think that it's fascinating too, because we've got people from all over the world right there at Pennington. It's not just people from Louisiana. We bring people from all over, but we also do have homegrown talent too. So we're keeping Louisiana talent here in Baton Rouge, which is fascinating.
Yes,
I think it's amazing too that we're so much better well known outside of Baton Rouge than we are in Baton Rouge.
That's kind of my point, right? That's kind of my point. Is that, like, if you ask anybody within the field, within the business, no matter where you are in the world, Pennington is going to get thumbs up from everyone, everywhere. And we just, it's Perkins and Kenilworth. It's just that big old building over there. Cool looking fountain. Like, it's,
Right.
So it's just the work that goes on behind those doors or on that campus is phenomenal, which we might get back around to in a little bit. But let's talk about the answer. It's coming up. Tell me all about it.
Okay, so the answer is March 27th. It's the premier fundraising gala for the research we do at Pennington. For the first year, we're hosting at L'Auberge Casino, which we're really excited about. Hopefully bringing in lots more people, lots more enthusiasm. It is a very fun evening. It's not you go and you sit down and get talked to all night. This is an interactive night of entertainment. We do trivia, we have games, live and silent auction, lots of fun stuff to do and purchase, all in support of research.
Was the murder mystery happening again?
Not this year.
I know, that was so much fun.
It was very fun. That was for our Clue themed year. So our theme changes every year, but this year our theme is phenomenal. I'll let Mark mention our theme.
Yeah, the theme this year is Best of the Bayou. So we're trying to bring, everything that's great about, Southern Louisiana right there into L'Auberge. Every bite, every charm, flavor, all the trivia is going to be about Best of the Bayou, but as it pertains to Pennington also.
Okay. And so we did trivia with the Clue theme as well. So it was like murder mystery plus the trivia. So with a heavier emphasis on the trivia. Also, Best of the Bayou, I have a feeling I might know a few more answers this time around. The last time around,
we all should.
Deer in the headlights, to be sure. But it's such a fun event, and the way the trivia is handled, it's not like your barroom trivia night. It's a lot more. How should I say? Personality driven and led. If that's right.
That's correct. Yeah. We've got a big person that does the trivia. Who's got a big, huge voice and he's probably like 12 foot tall too. So that kind of helps. But yes, it's very fun. It's very exciting. It's very fast paced, and it really lets people learn more about Pennington. So that's why we do it.
Absolutely. And of course, this is, like we said, the number one, it's the bigger fundraiser for Pennington. Moving out to L'Auberge, interesting call right there. I mean, L'Auberge always does fantastic work, but kind of having it on your campus is that individual touch, though, right? Was that a hard decision to say, we don't want to get people away from the mission, but let's get them, away from the property.
Yeah, it was very difficult decision. Unfortunately, we're at capacity.
Yeah.
We sell out the event every year, which is great. We're not complaining. We're so grateful for all of our supporters for making that event so successful each year. But like we said, a lot of people in Baton Rouge aren't familiar with our mission, haven't really been engaged with Pennington, and deeply aware of the work we're doing, which we want to do better at telling you all and bringing everybody in. And so moving to LaBerge, we get a lot more space.
Okay.
We're doing a ticket price this year rather than just tables, so it's a much easier entry to come in, have fun, learn about the work we do, and support something really phenomenal going on here.
If you hit up pbrf.org, pbrf.org/events, you'll find the answer over there. Going to have a little yellow tab right in the middle of it. If you hit up events and hit up the answer, yellow tab if you want to purchase tables, if you want to purchase tickets, or the sponsorships are still available too, correct?
Are still available.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just call me. I'm happy to talk to you about that.
We definitely get that done, and then it's of course coming up on March 27th. What does y'all's calendar look like outside of that? Because y'all really don't hit folks up very often for this sort of thing.
Yeah, so this is our primary fundraiser for the year. Throughout the year, we do have a lecture series. So we have 2 lunches and 2 dinners. Those are focused on healthy aging this year. All of our talks are. And so we've had a couple phenomenal speakers so far talk about our dementia prevention research. And we have one coming up where we're focused on how we can better eat as we age to support our bodies as we get older.
Dementia research.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we have an entire institute within Pennington that's focused on dementia research. Dementia and Alzheimer's are linked intrinsically to metabolic disorders like obesity. And so there is a large amount of research going on in that area. We have we call it the LA Webb-LaBrain study, and that is what we hope to be the largest longitudinal study on brain aging, where we track people throughout their older years to really assess how dementia progresses and how that's related back to body fat.
I so need to learn more on this because so first of all, I associate y'all with the heart and the gut. Or the gut and the heart. One. I don't know which one comes first on that, but those are the 2 areas where, because that's which is in the gut is going to affect how the heart's functioning as well. So, but the thing that I'm finding amazing within even this conversation is that you can extrapolate so much more than that, and there's so many variables over the course of a lifetime. There's so many variables that go into. My mother-in-law's got dementia, so this is like I'm learning a lot right now. But there's so many variables along the path of our lifetimes that contribute to this. I never would think that it starts with what you're eating.
Yeah, it can. I mean, there's also aspects of it that are, and Mark and I are not the scientists, but there's a lot of different factors that go into that. But one of the things we look at, in addition to other factors, is what are lifestyle interventions? Is it exercise, different food, that affect our brain aging?
Absolutely. Well, it's if it all starts with what goes in the gut, let's transition over there. Plenty to eat and drink coming up at the answer. So walk us through a little bit about the rest of the night aside from just the trivia.
So, it starts off, we also do, people come in and then we have a giant silent auction too. So thanks to our chair, Lauren Coco, she really sets this up nicely for us. And we really do a great job. She gets some great things for people to bid on. Then you go into a little bit of trivia. We have a little bit of dinner. There's a couple of little live auction items too that we get donated that people like to bid on. So it's just a good, fun night with a lot of drinking and eating.
There's some fun minute to win it games. There's
awesome.
lots of lots of interactive things throughout the evening. But yes, great food as always and great drink.
And what's cool too is that we have our scientists there too, so you get to meet them and talk to them and hear about their research too.
So sitting at a table with a number of scientists the last time out, it was just so engulfed in all of it. And by the way, explain things in a way that I can understand them. First of all, thank you. But secondly, you get so much more out of it,
right?
With such a lay person's perspective walking in and so much more retention, I guess would be the right way to put that.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Well, and that's the coolest thing about it. It all comes down to our scientists and the science they're doing, the ways they're trying to impact human health across the globe. I mean, this is work that impacts our entire world. And so it's so excited to hear and see from them directly.
Once again, Pennington Biomedical Research Foundation, the pbrf.org is the website. Very, very simple for you with the acronym pbrf.org/events and then /the answer from there. Best of the Bayou coming up March 27th. Taking it off campus this year, going out to Low Bears. Bree Bennett, Mark Panky, thank you all so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We got news coming up in just over a minute from right now. Got to remind you about David Duvall and his team over at One Bath and Closets. Christy and I got the renovation done. We went in and did the master bath over the Christmas holiday, and I got to tell you, when it comes to the Christmas presents we could have given each other, I can't think of a better way to roll than this. House was built in 1964, which means we still had a 1964 bathroom, right? Not anymore. We got a bathroom that matches 2026. Everything is it's just the way it came out. I don't know how to appropriately measure this. Everything that David did along the way, of course, taking our feedback along the way, his attention to detail, his attention to making sure that Christian and I were happy with every step of the process, and more importantly, happy with the finished product. I've got some pics up over on my Facebook page if you want to check them out, or if you just want to give him a call, it's 225-400-8005, 225-400-8005, or check out onebathandclosets.com. O-N-E, spell it out, onebathandclosets.com. Look, completely happy with our results, and you will be too. Give David a call at One Bath and Closets. Here's news. Well, that went quicker. Super quick. Y'all were awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. And like you said, we're giving you guys tables.
Taylor.
Nice to meet you, Taylor. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
I did come and speak. Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
cool.
Thanks. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, we're so excited to get this out there. We haven't been able to really promo this event in the past because we've been so limited on space with tables. So we've only ever sold tables before. But I'm like, get as many people in that room as we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because y'all changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, we're bringing it to merge. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Getting more people, getting past the 200 people that we usually fit in there.
Yeah.
Get up to like 600 folks.
I know Brian was one of the clue people.
I know.
All right, getting the table too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, that was a fun year. That was my first year.
Money so I can buy stuff.
I'm gonna bring as much money as a radio job allows.
That's what we want to hear.
That's much.
Yeah. Oh, we picked up on that.
Yeah, right?
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank y'all.
But then we met with Flynn. Yeah, Foster. We talked about getting a table for you all.
Oh my goodness. Hello. I'm like, Queen of Sparkles, represent my girl.
Very nice. Give me your name again.
Kara, K-A-R-A.
K-A-R-A. Castile.
I feel like I've met you because I listen to you every morning.
Thank
but
you.
like never met you in person.
Oh.
You feel like you get to know who these hosts are.
Right. Yeah, and more people would know, but because it's
Okay. Y'all are on Highland Road, right?
Yes, I'm on Highland and I have a store in Henderson, but I know it's outside of Baton Rouge. parish.
All right. So what we do is we're just going to talk king cakes. We're talking making king cakes. Talk a little bit about the Heavenly Donuts, because I know when donut places make king cakes, do y'all fry them or
We do. We're the only ones that fry them. We're
Oh,
the original
what's that?
fried king cake. Well, whoever is doing copied.
Mikey's Donuts on Airline
I know
Highway.
about Mikey's.
Yeah.
My mom owned Meshes in Lafayette.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So I grew up 4 years old sleeping on the flour sacks. And Mikey's came here right after I opened. And my mom actually, years ago, when they worked at Meshes.
Okay.
I lived in Lafayette for 7 years.
Yeah.
Mesh, it was
I'm
like,
from Brobridge.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Miss
Miss
Mesh
Mesh
was
was my
my
grandma.
friend. She went to Cecilia High, Donna.
Yeah.
Yeah, she owns
Yeah.
it for, she was Carly when I was on
Okay.
KSCB and I was Brittany.
Well, we Margaritaville just built right by Crunkerstown, USA.
Yep, and
So
she
we
did all the
have
photos for it.
Yeah, we have a store there with a drive-through right next door. It's insanely busy.
Woo, good for y'all.
So yeah, we also I don't know if you ever mentioned Ascension Parish when you asked for king cakes, but I have a really good a little I call it the little bougie gas station, but they sell the heck out of my king cakes off of Highway 42.
Okay.
Drive-through and everything.
Good for you, girl. I know where you're located. You're located in that shopping center.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There we go. And then how many napkins, plates are gonna want?
Yeah. Okay, Clayton. Good morning.
Good morning.
I know, right?
I'm taking care of our guests.
So y'all want me to cut y'all each a piece?
Sure.
Is that what
All right. Well, so yes, you can do that now, but I'm not gonna eat them until so how this breaks down is we'll have like a 12-minute segment,
Okay.
and then a 4-minute break, and then a 4-minute segment on the back end to kind of do the review and whatnot. So you if you want to cut them up now, go ahead and cut them now so we can dive in. But let's show them off to the camera first. Yeah. Yeah. Let's.
I did maple bacon for the guys, and I did plain cinnamon.
Well, Bree Lynn's gonna want some maple bacon.
It's really good. I wanted to make a boudin so bad. I just ran out of time.
That's okay. That's totally okay.
But my husband did just make this and told me to bring it to us. Our 25th year anniversary in business.
Oh, wow.
So he made a big 2 and a 5.
Wait, let me look.
Yeah, bring them over and show them off to the camera.
Okay. Let me zoom in, y'all.
Also, turn the light on that side so they can see it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, you don't want to zoom in. Bring the cake over to the camera.
You want me to bring the cake to you? Yeah, bring the cake to me. Here, come right here.
Whoop. No, you're good.
This is the camera right here.
Yeah, we don't drop the cake. My God. First king cake.
Brian, point to it.
Do what?
Point to it. Right there. Look at that.
Yeah, you're gonna need two people for that 2.5.
It's heavy, y'all.
It ought to be. It's fried. It better be heavy.
Right?
The smell of the maple bacon is so not fair.
We have a contract with LSU Dining, and we sell the heck out of these at LSU.
I bet.
Do you want another one? Or are we good?
No, that's we're good. We're good. We'll do the taste test on the rest of them. And just we're
And I have my phone on.
Everybody's saying yummy. Brian, tell them how good it smells.
it's ridiculous what it smells like. It's so like the maple is what you're smelling. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah, but king cake calories don't count.
Lost 3 pounds. I lost 3 pounds this week. So first week of the year, I'll take it. And I got room to make it up here. Hop in, sit down. 8:37, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We're going to get you to Foodie Friday coming up in just a minute, but I do need to remind you about Vex European, VEX, that's V as in Vinny. Vinny owns it. VexEuropean.com is the website. If you drive a European vehicle, you need to know about Vex European because odds are you made that investment in your European vehicle, your Mercedes, your BMW, or your Land Rover, your Audi. You made that investment for performance and longevity, right? You want to make sure you get the most out of the European vehicle. Well, pair you up with an expert level technician, a master technician for your vehicle. That's what they do over at Vex European. Hit up vexeuropean.com if you want to learn more, vexeuropean.com. You can actually make your appointment right there from the website. I've used them, swear by them, I love them. They're awesome. vexeuropean.com. All right, it is time for Foodie Friday, and it is the carnival season, so all the way up until Mardi Gras, we're going to be celebrating king cakes, and we're starting off heavy, y'all. The Heavenly Donut, no, that's got this beef sponsor on it. Sorry. The Heavenly Donuts in the house for Foodie Friday. We're welcoming Cara Castile into the studio. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on here. Glad to be talking king cakes. I was debating whether or not we wanted to go in first with a donut shop because it's kind of not fair. It's kind of not fair to stack the deck this heavy this quickly. But you know what? I appreciate you coming in.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm not your average donut shop.
No, not at all. But like, you're not the old school McKinsey's either. So,
No.
Yeah.
There's a little room for everybody in the competition.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Walk us through a little bit about what makes, well, I tell you what, let's start off with the Heavenly Donut before we get there. Cause y'all's donuts are not, is there something about your recipe? I don't know what it is. They're a little bit heavier. They're a little bit sweeter. They stick around. It's just such a good donut. Talk to me a little bit about the Heavenly Donut. What got you in this business?
Well, to be honest with you, I slept on the flour sacks as an age of 4 years old, and I worked in the bakery, and I just fell in love with people. And my dad came here to LSU, and he had business and sales, and my mom taught me how to make a product, and I put those two combinations together, and I just fell in love with Baton Rouge, and I said I want to have my family here and open up my first shop out here at 18. So it makes my 25th year in business.
Wow, 25 years. That happened quick. Very, very quick. Located over on Highland Roads, where you're going to find the Heavenly Donut. All right, let's talk king cakes. Carnival season. I mean, you're a Louisiana native. You're born and raised within the state, so you're very, very familiar with the mission here when it comes to a king cake. So walk me through your process. What do you put into making a king cake?
So first of all, we're not a grocery shop on the shelf type of king cake. Everything's made in-house from scratch. Every night my husband goes in at 10 o'clock and him and his staff start producing, and every cake is within 24 hours. It is fried, made with our homemade dough, stuffed, filled, however you'd like it. We even offer a savory boudin king cake that we get our boudin from Lafayette back home. And we put a lot of love in what we do. We're not into making huge quantities and letting them sit. We really want to feed people our king cake and love them. You talk about it's hard to say traditional when it's fried, but the I don't want to say plain either because it's awesome, but the traditional versus stuffed. Do you have a preference there? Well, I'll tell you, the community absolutely outshines. They love the plain cinnamon. They say our cake is buttery and moist, and it melts in your mouth. So I love people that hate king cake because I always challenge them to eat ours, and they end up loving king cake. So I would say overall I sell the most plain, and then the next one I sell the most of would be like our gourmet line, which is our banana foster with rum, or our savory ones, maple bacon, which I brought here today for the guys. So
bananas foster with rum. Are you kidding me?
Amazing.
Are you kidding me with
it's
that?
Really good.
I hate to cut you off. I hate to cut off anybody saying bacon, but maple bacon? Are you kidding me? Keep it going. What is it? Is that within it or on top of it?
So it's fried, and then it's dipped in our homemade glazed bath, and our glaze is just not powdered sugar and water and vanilla. It's like our own secret recipe. And then it's cooled off, and then it's topped with a homemade smoky maple, and then we cook the bacon fresh and chop it up and put it all on top. So it's very flavorful. Some people stuff it with chocolate, maple bacon chocolate. But I know from all the years that my guys just like the maple bacon.
Yeah.
But yeah, our king cakes are really good. Like, I challenge anybody that's never had it or doesn't like king cake, walk in. I'll give you a slice. I'll make you a loyal fan.
I have no doubt, because I can smell the maple bacon one right now, and it is crazy, crazy awesome. Also here, right down the middle, celebrating the 25th anniversary. I made a big I mean, it's not king cake, but it's the same dough, same process,
Mhm.
all this to celebrate the 25th
Oh God,
anniversary.
the kids love these for their birthdays. I do them for weddings, birthdays, corporate events. But yeah, this is our 25th year in business. I consider that, even though I'm a small local business, a huge accomplishment.
It is.
Met my husband in my business through a local restaurant here. With a chef that gave us a gift card, and I turned my tech guy into a donut maker. And so we doing this for 25 years.
Very, very cool stuff. We're talking with Kara Castile from The Heavenly Donut. We're celebrating king cakes all carnival season long for your Foodie Friday. Now, when it comes to king cakes, you say you're not looking to mass produce as many as possible, but your location isn't the only location where you can get them, correct?
Correct. No, you can travel if you're going towards I-10 right off of the Chafalaya. We have a drive-through in a pretty big building right in Henderson, Louisiana. We also service for our Ascension Parish off of Highway 42, the Oak Grove Market. You can drive through the drive-through or go inside. We deliver fresh hot king cakes every day. And they go quick.
Oh, I would imagine so. All right, let's break this down a little bit. Making a king cake, what goes into that's like different than the day-to-day operation? Like, what goes into making a king cake?
Well, a lot of cinnamon, dough, the braiding of the king cake, of course, the frying of the king cake, and then just all the different flavors, all the toppings.
Is this deep fried like a donut is?
It is.
Okay, so now we're getting to my real questions here, because I'm not asking for secret recipes or anything like that, but you put a donut in a deep fryer, it's easy to fish back out again. King cake's bigger. Like, what?
Well, I mean, there's not a secret, but I mean, you just deep frying it. We have screens. We know exactly the right amount of time, pressure, temperature.
And it's the exact same process as the donut, just scaled up.
Just scaled up. Yeah.
Very, very cool stuff. Talking with The Heavenly Donut. Where at on Highland?
We're at 17732 Highland Road, right by CCL, right across diagonal from Troop A.
Right where that's at. That's conveniently located on Highland, not too far from the interstate if you wanted to just pop in over there. Let's talk a little bit about trends and what's going on. 25 years in the business, making when you're making the king cakes, have we seen things get hot and then not get hot? Have we seen things that kind of take the world by storm? That's why I always ask about the traditional, just because the other ones they could pop off for a little while and then hit the back burner.
Yeah, and I think what happened is like our Boudin king cake came in hot. We were the first one in Baton Rouge to actually present and make a Boudin king cake, but we weren't the first one to come up with the idea. It was out of Lafayette, which is my hometown. And so that is really hot and heavy. And then of course things kind of die off. Every year I come up with a new king cake. One time I did a chicken and waffles and it was really popular for that year.
God.
I did one that was a La Cajun mud that stayed on the menu. People absolutely love it. It's basically a Mississippi mud dessert into a king cake. This year we're bringing back for our 25th anniversary a crowd favorite. It's an Italian cream cheese wedding cake king cake. And it's very flavorful and very good. But I love coming up and taking king cakes and making them creative. And so I think that's why I love my business so much, is because I love people and I love to create good food.
I mean, and it's such a tangible, you could see the reaction in folks. You can see and not just when they enjoy, but but the return visits and whatnot, and what they're going to brag on you about.
You'll hear stories. I have this one guy that travels every year from Arkansas just to come buy 100 king cakes to take home. We have so many people that travel back and forth off of I-10 from Houston to Geismar for plant work. And I have loyal customers all the way to Houston. You can also, if you want to try my king cake, you can go to our website at theheavenlydonut.com, THEE, and you can ship a package, a party in a box, get coffee, get a whole taste of Louisiana.
So that's something that's picked up in popularity recently. I shouldn't say recently. It's been we're good, well over a decade in on like the level of popularity of shipping the king cakes. About how much, like percentage wise, of what you make in a year, what gets shipped out?
We ship at least 10,000 plus king cakes every Mardi Gras carnival season.
That's incredible. I mean, and it's a shortened season this year, but I would assume that the shortened season doesn't affect the number. You just get more calls in a day.
Yeah, it's just more labor, more work, and we just love it. I love hearing their responses.
Very, very cool stuff. Yep. Nowhere in the world you can be without having the access to get back home a little bit or get a taste of Mardi Gras from right here in South Louisiana. We've got Kara Castile with us from The Heavenly Donut, talking about king cakes as it is carnival season. Okay, I smell the maple bacon one. Then you got your 25th anniversary. Then what's over on this one?
This is just our typical plain cinnamon. It's a crowd favorite.
Okay.
I kind of like to ease people into this one that's never had my cake or never had king cake. They always end up loving this one.
Okay. And I mean, it's traditional in the sense that it is just the cinnamon, but it's not traditional in the sense that it's fried. What, in your perspective, through your eyes, and I mean, obviously you're going to be biased because you fried them, but like,
I'm a very honest person.
What is the point of differentiation there? What a baked king cake versus a fried one?
So what we found is a baked king cake kind of dries out faster. And with our king cake, because we make them like no king cake stays within 24 hours.
Right.
And we like to serve them as hot as possible. So we love that a person can get a hot king cake or a warm king cake. But you find that our cake is like more buttery and moist and more like a cinnamon roll, more than even a donut. Like it's just something you have to experience.
Well, we're about to experience it. We're coming up on 8:50 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Here's how this works. On the air, you're going to get your money now. You're going to get a quick break, and you're going to get traffic. Over on Facebook Live, if you're watching on Facebook Live, Kara's about to get up and get to work cutting a couple pieces of king cake. You know what? I'll be the fat guy in the room right out the blocks. I want to try all of them. So we'll dive in on both. Come back and give you the full review right after this. Right now, it is 8:50 at Talk 107.3 FM. Foodie Friday continues. King Cake Time continues right now on air. Here is your money now. All right.
I could have given some king cakes away to some of y'all viewers. I don't know if you ever do that. I love giveaways.
We absolutely do.
I love it. I'll give away like 10 king cakes. 10 listeners come to the shop, call us, get a king cake for free. Whatever they want.
Can we regroup and do that on Monday or something?
Yeah.
As
No,
a
I'm
follow-up?
saying whenever.
Yeah.
I'll come back and give you the full review right after this.
You got everything you need there for that, Kara?
I think so.
All right.
And y'all don't
You said
judge
just
me.
a butter knife, so I said, all right.
Got it.
I know this is gonna be good because I lived in Lafayette.
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
I know.
Just wanted to,
Don't
like,
judge
sliver.
me. I just cut it.
So should I start with the maple bacon or should I start with the plain?
We can do both.
All right. Well, I'm totally doing both.
I'm a no judgment kind of girl.
Oh, you should have seen his face.
You should have heard when I whispered. It's I'm gonna start with the traditional. I'm gonna start with the plain before I no. Because I pulled the fork out of this one and bacon hit me quickly. Because
Y'all want a piece too?
God doesn't want me to be skinny, apparently.
This is definitely one of my favorite parts about the job is
The food.
the Foodie Friday. Always watching it.
I didn't even know y'all did the
Yeah, and if you got something cool outside of Mardi Gras,
Okay.
if you eat like something different, we can. Yeah, we're gonna as soon as 9 o'clock hits, you're about to see the whole sales team and who knows else down here on the floor to grab a slice.
I love. I don't even like to talk about my product. I just like people to taste it because their reaction tells you everything.
Yeah. Well, look, you're the first king cake in the building this year,
Woohoo.
Woohoo! That's true. Nobody else, but somebody brought nothing but cake. But
that's
I know, but that's a franchise. Yeah.
exactly. No, we don't count that. Oh God.
They are good.
Oh,
if you want just like regular cake.
Yeah, it's convenient and it's solid.
But the crazy thing is my husband's gluten free. He can't even eat any of the stuff he makes.
Are you serious?
So I go get him a
Poor
gluten-free.
baby. All right, which one should I try first, y'all? The traditional.
I feel like the maple bacon is a heavier. In your mouth, it stays.
All right, let's see, y'all.
It's buttery. It's good. It's cinnamony. Y'all want some water?
I got it.
Okay.
Coffee. I got coffee. Even better.
I know when we ship our king cakes, we put our coffee in it.
Let me grab
Okay,
that.
that's
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even think.
unbelievable.
Wow. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Because I grew up in Houma. I
Yeah.
lived in Lafayette for 7 years, but I 21 years was in Houma. Mr. Ronnie's Donuts.
Oh yeah, my mom knows Mr. Ronnie.
I taste it. It's this, the fry. How y'all fry it?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say
they're
it's more
not-
closer to Mr. Ronnie's than Mesh.
Yeah, Miss Mesh. My mom's actually, if we got deep into history, my mom's actually the one that came up with the king cake, because she was at the Willow Street location, and she said, "What if I take some cinnamon twists and turn them into a braid, and we actually tried to fry this and we make a king cake," and that's how it all started. So,
Wow. It's delicious.
thank you.
This is yeah.
So
I
my
love the
friends
maple.
are doing a big 12-night party tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's tradition every year. They'll do it the Saturday after 12 night for people to come.
Yeah.
And if 12 night falls on a Saturday, even better. Everybody brings king cakes. Randazzo's, yours is probably going to be brought. Everybody brings a Mr. Ronnie's, Dumpong. Everybody brings a king cake. And I don't know if they've ever brought yours.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me know. I'll fix you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody comes pick it up, I'll give y'all one for sure.
Shit, I need to go get one to bring
Yeah.
to the party. I'll bring the bacon one.
Okay.
I'll bring the bacon one.
Y'all have my phone number. Y'all can just text me.
Look, put it in for me. There you go. And then when I post up your break, I'll text it to you.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Let me know. We open from 4 to 12, 7 days a week. In Mardi Gras, we're open till 5 in the afternoon.
Ooh.
You see, the dumb thing is we bring in Pennington to talk about obesity and diabetes, and then we bring in the Heavenly Donut to walk the life, to walk the path. Holy
Byron said that. Byron
Uh-huh.
Nichols said donut segment to follow the Pennington segment. Quite a contrast.
I need to work on that. I need to work on that timing a little bit and maybe a little separation. Okay. All right. Full on king cake review here. First of all, Dynamite Chop.
Thank you.
100% in favor of both things that are happening in front of my face right now. All right, let's start with the traditional.
Okay.
That's the one we're going to give the full evaluation on. The dough itself, simple and sweet. Simple and sweet. You're not like looking at me. The cinnamon's there, of course, but it's not like an overpowering cinnamon. It's very simple and sweet. The icing on top is where I'm getting a little bit more. This is what you talked about your secret recipe. This is where that's popping on the sweetness level, but it doesn't burn. Sometimes the sweet can burn a little bit. No, this is 100% in the wheelhouse. And the way the fried into this complements the icing, the way the two go together is just an absolutely perfect, perfect mashup.
Thank you.
No, this is a wonderful, wonderful king cake. Now, over to the maple bacon. Oh my God.
It's really good.
So you talked about savory king cakes earlier, right?
Mhm.
When you've got the maple bacon, you've got savory and sweet combined.
Yep.
Because you've got, the saltiness of the bacon, the savoriness of the bacon it punches you right in the face. Let's be very, very honest. You're going to smell that maple in the glaze or in the icing that's on it. You're going to smell the maple first, but you're going to taste the bacon. First and foremost, it is going to rule the day, and it is unbelievable. Now, the dough itself, same thing. It's the same cake that's underneath it, right?
Yep. Every cake we make in-house, other than our savory boudin,
Right.
is all the same dough.
Okay, so talk to me for just a second, because and I'll get back around to it's the evaluation, but talk to me a little bit about how you manage that with, okay, you're looking for a different flavor, you're looking for a different taste on the savory one, but you're not looking for it on this one. So how do you how does it affect the recipe?
You got me at a tongue twister.
Well,
I'm like, we just make them all the same, but we top them, inject them, and however they come together.
So it doesn't affect the recipe.
It doesn't.
Okay.
it's a different taste on your palate depending on how do you top them, how do you inject them.
Okay.
Like if I gave you our banana foster with rum right now, you'd get
Kind
the
of mad at you that
same.
you didn't, by the way.
Well,
That's-
you know what? Next week I'll come drop you off a
I'm
banana
playing, I'm
foster
playing,
with
I'm
rum.
playing.
No, I
I'm
love
playing.
giving people.
So you will glaze the boudin king cake the same that you would. Okay.
So boudin is actually a whole different process. So our dough is so versatile that I could bake it or I could fry it. Like our kolaches they're just amazing because the king cake really, it's all about the dough. The dough is homemade, it's not frozen, and that's what makes a big thing. So when I do my savory boudin, I actually bake it, butter it, stuff it. And then I put the Tabasco pepper jellies on top with the steamed syrup and the applewood bacon. So it's a whole different explosion.
See the steamed syrup, by the way, not fair. All right, so just wrapping up on the maple bacon, when the way these flavors combine to add that it's a touch of savory to go along with the sweet. It's a touch of the salty, a touch of the bacon to go along with the sweet. The way they complement each other is absolutely phenomenal. I can't imagine that we're going to see anything over the course of the carnival season that is going to top that. Decadent, by the way, brace yourself. Like, don't like it. You will know, like, you're taking in all the sweet that you can take in for a day, to be sure. This has been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming by. I highly recommend both options, or checking out their whole menu over at The Heavenly Donut, 17732 Highland Road. She is Cara Castile. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you for letting me come in and share what I do.
Absolutely, and happy Mardi Gras to you. We got to get out of here, y'all. Moon Griffon's coming up next. We're all done. We'll see you on Monday.
Yay!
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Facebook, we got to bounce because sales is about to come pillage. So we'll see you on Monday.
I want to see it all.